That's better.
Welcome to the Ardent Pinko Comrade and Friends, broadcasting to you live far behind the enemy lines here in beautiful Central Florida. I'm Serafina and I'm your host, and we have our beautiful co-star Emily. Say hi, Emily.
Hi.
And we're going to be doing a lot of coverage tonight because we've been a little behind on things, but we're going to be getting caught up with that really soon. So we're so excited to be doing the stream tonight. Essentially, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. And first things first, we got Tradle. Okay, Tradle. And
it's not showing your screen.
Oh, it's not showing my screen. I see.
There's probably some way to fix it.
I see what you're saying. Okay, that was good point. Yeah, it's just a little issue with the software today, I think.
I thought you needed that.
Huh?
I thought you needed the screen.
We do. I definitely do need it. Good evening, comrades. There it is. Can you see it now?
Yep.
Okay, excellent. Back at it now. Woo.
Bootleg Tradle.
Okay, Tradle, look, another little itty bitty one. Not as bad as the last one. The last one was crazy, right? I was like, damn. Last one was like 34 million. At least this one's in the B, 20.1 billion. I mean, Elon Musk's entire wealth is bigger than this country's exports by like at least 5 or 6 times, I guess. It's crazy, right? Textiles, lots of textiles, lots and lots of textiles. Petroleum gas, rice, dried legumes. Okay, I'm getting a feel for this one. Corn, refined copper. Okay, mining, precious stones. Okay. I'm really getting a feel for this. Trunks cases, rubber. Rubber's always a giveaway. Processed crustaceans. Okay, So there's some seafood, planes, thermostats. I don't know. What am I doing tonight with this one? I'm thinking like with all these textiles, which is a lot, $930 million of the textiles, $400 million, $502 million. So it's really easy to look at $502 million and say it's not a lot. It's a ton, especially when it comes to textiles. So there's a lot of textiles here. So what I'm thinking is somewhere where they make a lot of textiles. What do you think, chat? I think I'm gonna go with Indonesia. That's where I'm starting. Any objections?
That sounds good.
Emily, Indonesia, thumbs up or thumbs down?
Sure. Maybe Vietnam.
Vietnam is also a good guess.
Because I know Vietnam makes a lot of textiles.
And I think they have emeralds. And maybe a few other stones there.
Right. Somewhere like that.
I think so. Let's try this first. I'm going to be stubborn and stick to my guess, but I'm going with Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, somewhere like that next. Oh, we're really close. Ooh, you might be right.
Okay.
You might be right. I'm going to try Vietnam next.
It's a big place.
Well, Vietnam, an amazing, absolutely amazing country. Incredible place with amazing people. Oh, we're so close. Ugh, okay. Shit, girl. We're really close. We're 1,500 off, which is like half the width of the United States or some shit, or this way. Something like that. I'm pulling out the map. It's Southeast Asia, I'm sure of it.
Could be South Korea, maybe.
Could be.
Because it's a lot of different things. I'm not sure.
Well, it could also...
Is it Taiwan? Does this recognize Taiwan?
Maybe. Hang on a second.
Or Thailand?
I'm re-associating myself with... Okay, so there's Vietnam. Vietnam, Laos, Thailand. And we picked Vietnam and it said it was 1,500 miles that way. Oh, gosh, girl. Oh, could it be India?
I'm going... I don't know if it's big enough. I'm going with Thailand.
Thailand. Let's go with Thailand. I think I like Thailand.
What is Thailand?
What is Thailand? I think Thailand is a great guess, and I think that we might be onto it right there with Thailand. Oh, we're so close. We're still not... Oh.
Right next door.
Yeah. Myanmar.
Okay.
What do you want to bet this is it? Oh, There we go. We got it.
Yeah? Did you look it up?
I was just looking at a map.
Oh, really? That's crazy.
I pulled up a map of Southeast Asia because I was trying to remember everything that's over there because I know that Laos and Vietnam are close to each other, and then you have Cambodia and Thailand. They're all like touching. I was trying to remember what part. I haven't looked at a map of that part of the world in so long. So like, and that's kind of the whole point why we do this. We do this for education. It's great if we get a guess, or if we make a guess, or we learn and we get better and start making faster guesses. That's the goal. But learning about geography, the world, and world exports is a paramount function in understanding politics in general and global policies. It's hard to understand global policies if you don't understand what people make, what strategically they make, things like that. So I'm trying to like do little micro learnings like that, and I like to share this one on here because it's fun. Because she got me into it, and anytime someone shows me something where I can learn, I'm always all about it. So forgot to turn on my my Pride music during trade. I was so excited about it, but got a little something for you. Okay, a little something for you here today. A little something for you. I'm just gonna go ahead and play it.
Response to these new Epstein emails that show that Trump, he did it. Who? Trump did it. Did what? He did everything you guys are thinking he did. He and Epstein? Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're not denying it? Nah, fuck it. And also we killed Epstein to keep him quiet about this whole thing. Which was obviously a waste of time, but, hindsight's 20/20. Hindsight's 20/20. Wow, I didn't think you'd come out and Okay, so now that that's out of the way, we're so excited to announce that Trump is going to pardon 5 turkeys this year instead of just 1. But we were just as a kind of joke because he's been doing so much pardoning of like criminals. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's funny. That's turkeys are funny. Just move on. Funny is this Epstein thing. Yeah, nothing's going to happen with that. Trust. But this is above and beyond. Nah, it's not. But the Democrats, they might... No, they won't. Look, our people are still going to support us no matter what happens, and the Democrats, look at me, and the Democrats are still just going to do infighting about how the progressives aren't trying to understand where the right is coming from enough, and everything's going to go back to normal. So just don't worry about it, Let's just talk turkey. It's better that way. Let's all just talk turkey. Okay? Okay, let's talk turkey. Also, Trump might have gone down on Bill Clinton. Turkey. Does the White House have a response to these new Epstein emails that show that...
Oh, gosh. I mean, I watched part of that earlier. I didn't watch the whole thing, but it was cool. I think it's interesting because we use comedy and all kinds of other media outlets in our, society, like Saturday Night Live and shit, to try to soften the reality, the truth of the horribleness of our politics. I don't know. I think Hegseth is a fucking snake. I'll leave it at that. Definitely a snake. Trailer was awesome. We got it. Myanmar. What was it? 4th guess? Better than it has been. Anyways, that shit's funny. Jon Stewart. Okay, John, wait a second here. Go ahead.
Is the Iraq parallel? Well, we got one guy making the same case for both wars. And yes, it's who you think.
Saddam Hussein's a threat to my country. He's a threat to our way of life. He needs to go.
Maduro is an existential threat to the people of the United States.
It is time for Maduro to go.
It. Hit me with the works. Iraq, Venezuela, go!
We're giving them full opportunity to do it the easy way. And when it doesn't work,
we'll do it the hard way.
If we can do things the easy way, that's fine. And if we have to do it the hard way, that's fine too.
Chemical weapons is a threat to the United States.
Fentanyl poses a chemical weapons threat to the United States.
Al-Qaeda terrorists inside Iraq.
Al-Qaeda of our hemisphere.
We can get rid of Saddam. It could really begin to transform the region.
There's an opportunity to transform the entire region.
Bringing freedom and democracy.
Democracy and freedom
can serve as a beacon of hope.
Shock and awe.
Shock and awe indeed. If you think this is getting confusing, you're not alone. Even senators can't keep these Bush or Trump wars straight. This is Senator Tom Cotton from this weekend.
I think President Bush has every power under the Constitution to strike boats in international waters.
Oopsie poopsie.
Venezuela has the largest reserves of oil in the world. Venezuela that has a rich...
He has all the power that he needs under the Constitution to strike boats in international waters without any evidence on top of that, right? So, no evidence, no nothing. Crazy. And they're just going to say it's drugs. It's like saying weapons of mass destruction. You don't have them, but you got to believe us so we can do these horrible, heinous shit. This horrible, heinous shit to people. I don't know. It's been a long week. It's been a weird week since Sunday, right? All the violence. It's been just crazy how much violence there's been this week. And then you got this shit now. Okay, we have all this violence leading up to more violence when our government that we elected is going to go. And, oh, by the way, just so that way you know, they just got done telling us that they can't afford health care and afford food for us, okay? But they're going to go spend a whole lot of money on a military operation for a boat, a giant aircraft carrier, the biggest one in the world, to sit there in the ocean and occupy space and create a military naval blockade to shut off a country and likely, invade next. And then they tell us, oh, we can't afford SNAP and we can't afford health care. You guys can't have none of that. But they're going to spend money on the bombs, which is crazy, right? And, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty crazy that they tell us that shit, and then they're going to go drop a bunch of bombs and occupy space in the ocean for billions of dollars. So it's what it's going to cost. Billions of dollars they could be spending on, good policies that help the working class. So, let's continue.
Rich natural energy resources.
Massive oil reserve. They have gold. They have rare earths.
Oil, gold, and minerals.
And I'm sure there are U.S. companies that would like to do business there.
Venezuela for the American oil companies will be a field day.
I didn't think this war was a wise decision, but if it helps the oil companies smile again.
And America First means we need a Western Hemisphere where America is dominant.
If you're focused on America and America First, you start with your own hemisphere where we live.
America First also means
What that woman just said is crazy. We need a Western Hemisphere that we dominate. That's conquest. That's the kind of shit that Nazis used to say. It's crazy. I can't believe it. I can't believe they just say the quiet part out loud all the time now.
America's first.
South America literally has the name America in it.
That's a good point, John.
Erie is the Iraq parallel? Well, we got one guy making the same case for both wars. And yes, it's who you think.
Saddam Hussein's a threat to my country. He's a threat to our way of life. He needs to go.
Maduro is an existential
Lindsey
threat
Graham
to the
is
people
one of
of
the
the
worst
United
things
States.
that ever happened to the United States.
Hit me with the works. Iraq,
He's just
Venezuela.
a terrible
Go.
human being.
We're giving them full opportunity
to
Old
do it the easy way.
Rumsfeld.
And when it doesn't work,
I used to see
we
that
do
guy
it the
do
hard
every
way.
damn
We
day.
can do things the easy way, that's fine.
Face.
And we have to do it the hard way, that's fine too.
Chemical weapons is a threat to the United States.
Fentanyl poses a chemical weapons threat to the United States.
Al-Qaeda terrorists inside Iraq.
Al-Qaeda of our hemisphere.
Fentanyl is a chemical weapon. I don't think the math is mathing. I mean, they can say, oh, it's a weapon, but the social conditions that they create where people would want to use drugs all the time, outside of, reasonable recreational purposes, like to kill pain and misery, which is a reason why a lot of people get involved in opioids. All kinds of reasons. Sometimes people, it's medicine. But regardless, the fact that they just literally say whatever they want, and then they say, hey, just believe us.
If we can get rid of Saddam, it could really begin to transform the region.
There's an opportunity to transform the entire region.
Bringing freedom and democracy.
Democracy and freedom can serve as a beacon of hope.
Shock and awe.
Shock and awe indeed.
We always seem to try to convince everybody we have the best version of everything. It's literally bigotry at its best, because they're like, hey, we know what's best for you. We're the fucking world police. And we're going to go around and tell you what you're going to do and what you're not going to do. I don't know.
Indeed. If you think this is getting confusing, you're not alone. Even senators can't keep these Bush or Trump wars straight. This is Senator Tom Cotton from this weekend.
I think President Bush has every power under the Constitution to strike boats in international waters.
This shit's crazy. This shit's crazy. It's like, they just basically think they have the authority to do whatever the hell they want when they feel like it. Okay, what we got? Oh, yeah, that leads us in the Venezuelan ramp up here. If it's gonna play.
Twitter.
What does it want me to log in?
You are logged in.
I should be logged in already. There you go. Here we go. Anyways, I've been playing this little clip. This is so typical of what goes on before something like this goes down.
Hoy estamos más fuertes que ayer. Hoy estamos más preparados para defender la paz, la soberanía y la integridad territorial que ayer.
Crazy. What's really interesting is that, it seems like we just are always running around starting some little conflict with some little country somewhere that we feel like we can bully around. And then, the Maduro here, this guy, he's not great either, He's got a bunch of shit going on. But it's like, I guess the main thing from all this is just simply that we basically could take the lessons of Vietnam from something like this. You go and you start creating an insurgency, or even Afghanistan or anywhere else, you create an insurgency, and then you got a bigger and bigger problem in your hands. And then what do? Do you ever really get to the point? I mean, we just pulled out of Afghanistan because other shit is going on there. It just became impossible for us just to stay. And it's like, what's going to happen with this? We're going to go fuck this shit up for 10 years? Because it's every time they do this shit, it's 10 years of bullshit. So you're going to go fuck some shit up for 10 years? And then spend all that money when you're telling us you can't afford health care and basic provisions for the people of the United States. We live in the richest country in the world. Maybe if our government didn't run around the world causing conflicts with everybody and spending all of our money on bombs to bomb the Gaza Strip, and now they're going to go bomb another small country. And then the other thing about Venezuela is, like, I mean, let's just say the quiet part out loud. They're definitely going to go. They're going for the oil. They're going to go for the oil. I mean, definitely the oil. And they're going to say it's because of drugs. It's the same shit that happened in Iraq by far. But I don't know. It's the insurgency that's always going to become the issue. Is they think they can come in and do this and they'll just take shit over. But then they create an insurgency. And lots of people are going to die if they do this. People are going to die. Every time they want to do anything to do with the W word, war, people die. So it's just horrible. I'm about as anti-war as you can get because war sucks. And I don't know. I think it's stupid though because we have a bunch of governments with people that are they have an amazing amount of power, an unimaginable amount of power to do things, and they have authority, they have the power. And the same with the government in Venezuela, they have the power of those people, and this government has the power of these people. And instead of figuring out a way to work this shit out, they're going to go to war, and people are going to die. And the people that are going to die, and this is where I'm trying to take this point, I'm trying to turn this back around the other direction. The people that are going to die are going to be the poor people, because the poor people are always the people that die in war, so the rich people can have what they want. And that's my main reason why I would be against something like this, is because I know that the people who are going to pay the price are the young people who either have to be in the military or they've joined the military, here in the United States because they offer you some sort of, benefits, some health care or whatever. Health care, a little bit of money for college, not much. People talk about that shit too much. The numbers never changed, barely, in a long, long time, and it's not enough now. So, I mean, it's just a bunch of bullshit benefits that they offer you to join the military, to run off to some country you never heard of over some shit between two leaders that is like some kind of fucking tea that, most people who are of normal blue-collar working class have no privy to. I mean, they just tell us what we want to hear or tell us what they think that we should hear. They spin it. They send out their spin doctors to spin it so it sounds good. And it's all fucking horrible. I don't know. I'm against it. I don't think we should do it. I don't think now's a good time to do it with how fucked up shit is. Country's completely fucked up, and we're gonna go start a conflict. What the fuck, dude? Get more unpopular while you're at it, okay? Our fearless leader, Donald J. Trump, is gonna be on the fucking news tonight addressing the nation. I honestly, just the thought of listening to it, and probably for as long as it's going to go on, I'm just going to fucking lose my fucking mind. Because I can't stand to listen to the man talk. He sounds so fucking stupid to me. He sounds like the most ignorant, stupid asswipe that you can imagine. I just can't believe the garbage that spills out of his fucking mouth. I can't listen to him. I listen to him and it feels like my skin is crawling. It's gross. He's gross. I can't get the vision out of my head of all the horrible things that this man has done with young women and who knows who else, and just being creepy like he is, just like a predator type of personality with no soul and just no kind of personality, really. He's just evil. And I can't stand to listen to this guy talk about our country and watch them continue to reframe everything about this country into their version of white nationalism. I can't stand it. Because we worked a long time in this country to have freedom of speech. Now they want to take that away. We worked a long time in this country for women to have equal rights. Still not equal. Glass ceiling's real. Just to have them fucking say, hey, you don't even have control of your own fucking body anymore. What's next? Are you going to tell them that women can't have credit cards again? You're going to fucking make them be married to own property? That's next? I mean, that's old shit. I mean, that already has happened. Traditionally in marriage, women couldn't own any property. As soon as they married someone, the man owned it. I mean, the misogyny of the origins of the philosophy and doctrine of these people, these conservatives, is old and has been around a long time. And their sheer ego and fragile masculinity is the reason that we get things like the war in Venezuela now and all the other shit that's ever happened. You know, it's like we deserve better than this. We deserve better than them.
I agree.
Yeah, we deserve better. We deserve better than this. How the fuck do we have this? Why are these people in charge? They're all a bunch of cronies. They're a bunch of buddy billionaires. They all go out and they find some politician. They go, yeah, you'll do. You're going to be on this side. And then the other people on the other side go, yep, you'll do. Here's a bunch of money. Go out and convince these people that you're cool. And then we just go vote for them without even considering what they're actually going to do. And then half the time they don't even do what they say they're going to do. And I'm throwing every fucking one of them under the bus. Every fucking one. I will not kiss no politician's ass. A politician is a servant of the people underneath the Constitution of the United States. And also, as an American, we expect our politicians to represent us directly. Which is why, you know, we had the Boston Tea Party because we said, you know what? We're not going to be taxed if we don't have any representation in the government. And there's an endless amount of groups in this country that don't have any real representation in the government. Okay? Including queer people. How the fuck in 2025 we still are talking about equal rights for groups of people? It's disappointing. It's so disappointing. It's been a long week. You know, on Sunday, we seen a horrible thing happen. Some people came out to a beach and shot up a bunch of people. Then we had someone else who went into a school, an institution of higher learning, and shot some students. Students! They're just there to learn and be better people and to have a good life. Their life just ended because of someone's hate. The fucking hate. It all comes back to hate every single time. Why do we do this to each other? Why do we do this? This is me heading into just being a minister at this point. You know, sorry for the monologue, but I just can't believe in the last week I have to think about a mass shooting, 2 mass shootings, and a fucking war in Venezuela and all this other shit. Now we're blowing up boats off the coast of the United States with people in it without any due process and no explanation or no real evidence. That's classified, they'll say. Sure. And how much other shit was classified that was, you know, a cover-up for something else? I mean, tons of it, right? And I'm going to head down too many conspiracy theories, but, you know, they just do what they want. And that's what the problem is. And that's why we need to vote for. We need to vote for politicians that are going to represent us and what we actually want and care about what happens to us. And also that understand the need for incredible amounts of diversity in the United States, which really is the narrative of the United States should never exclude immigrants. And then to run around the world and be literally Islamophobic and then start figuring out the best way to keep certain folks out of the United States because you're just straight racist and stupid is like about the worst thing that could possibly happen to us. We worked a long time to not head down this fucking road. A long time. And then here we are. And I'm so fucking disappointed. I'm so disappointed, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I grew up at a shitty time in the 80s when everybody was a bunch of fucking assholes. And everybody was very conservative and stupid where I'm from. And it just was very oppressive. And I couldn't really be who I wanted to be. Period. It just was the reality of it. And that's not that's a normal narrative in history in general. It seems like, and it always has to do with the people that have the power. I can't believe we're headed down this road where we're going to try to turn the clocks back 50 years in this country and become a fucking dictatorship and have them, you know, essentially a military dictatorship. That's our goal. You know, rule with an iron fist, dissent will be crushed, blah, blah, blah. And this shit goes on all over the fucking place, and we sit around and put up with it. And I'm talking globally. We put up with this shit. But we're the ones with the power, so I don't understand why we don't start standing up for ourselves and start voting for the right fucking people and quit taking this shit so lightly. It's fucking pretty serious, what we're doing, these decisions we're making. And they exploit us to get it done. They exploit us, and they also preoccupy us with everything they can, so that way we're not thinking about what they're doing. And that's my little take on that for tonight. But essentially, well, what do we got next? Oh, the professor. Oh yeah. Hang on. Who we got here?
Police are investigating the deadly shooting of an MIT professor found in his home in Brookline. Authorities say Nuno Loureiro, who taught nuclear science, was found shot multiple times in his home. He was rushed to the hospital, dying hours later. No word tonight on a motive or any possible suspects. Tonight, outside Boston, police are investigating the deadly shooting of an MIT professor found in his home in Brookline. Authorities say Nuno Loureiro, who taught nuclear science, was found shot multiple times in his home. He was rushed to the hospital, dying hours later. No word tonight on a motive or any possible suspects. Tonight outside...
Okay. Interesting. I just heard about this morning when I got up. Well, I got up late today. I had a long night. I don't know. It's kind of suspicious that this guy, maybe it was some sort of corporate assassination or governmental thing. I don't know. I mean, big oil. I don't know. I think like what they were saying was he was exploring some emissions-free types of energy, probably with nuclear fusion. Because fusion, a sustained fusion, is going to be a huge change for civilization when that happens. Sustained fusion. We have fission, which is nuclear power. We're splitting atoms, but fusion is when you fuse atoms. And then being able to do it stable has always been the trick. But, you know, those kinds of people working on those kinds of things are probably a threat to essentially big corporations, big energy, the interest of, you know, obviously this party in the White House, in the Capitol with the Trump administration. They all have interest in probably not having these sorts of things become reality in our world. And it's like we can get infinite amounts of power all of a sudden, it would change everything. I don't know. I think it always comes down to the money every single time. And I think they're going to find out that the reason why this gentleman here had been targeted is probably going to have something to do with money. I would not be surprised. Oh, okay. Oh, here we go. Fuck. Hang on. We gotta listen to this one, okay? Chaos erupts in the House as Republicans block a vote on health care again. What the fuck? This is what we're talking about. And I'll play this in just a second, but this is what the fuck we're talking about, right? So, the biggest problem that we have is that everybody's arguing and fighting and not giving a shit about what happens to the people. It's like they're just going to continue because they got the fucking big insurance lobby in their back pocket. They want to make sure people have to pay their money into a market and pay these cronies, these conglomerates of healthcare and these medical groups who pay lobbyists to put money in the back pockets of politicians to support. You know, go look at their donors and see how many of them are healthcare. You want to see some crazy shit. But it's always about capitalism. And that's why they're not going to give a shit if people get subsidies or not. And everybody's going to pay a lot more. And they're like, yay, we increased our profits. And then, you know, then everybody's going to be like, they took our jobs. And then they're going to be like, well, now we're going to vote blue and shit. Which is what we see going on right now in a whole bunch of special elections all over the country in the last few months. It's been crazy. It's been huge. And I think we'll continue to see that trend, and we'll continue to see the popularity of our great president, the greatest of presidents of all time, Donald J. Trump. Watch his popularity drop to nil. Because people are sick of this shit. People are feeling the pain. All the people that he had them excited about, you know, he was going to do something for them. There's like farmers and all kinds of industry workers and all these people. They're all fucking feeling the pain now of this administration's policies. This administration's policies are inherently one-sided, focused around rich people and billionaires, and is catering to their base, which is mostly rich people and billionaires and people with privilege, white people, boomers, whole bunch of crazy shit in there. You know, obviously there's probably some diversity there, but regardless of, people are feeling the pain. Like, especially Latino Americans right now in the United States. Let me tell you something. If you're a Latino American in the United States and you vote conservative, you need to go look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself a few questions. Period. You know, I'm not saying that the other party's any better. Definitely Democrats are not. They're fucking lame ducks. Let's face it. I've been waiting around for these people to do something for a minute now. They don't even respond to these people. They're just letting them do. And, I mean, I want to see more action from the fucking blue side. Since we don't have three sides, I think we need a pink side. And that's a pun intended, because I'm getting tired of this shit. They get up here and they do the same fucking thing all the time. They're all going to fucking argue and talk about, oh, this and this and this. And let's pull out all the money and all the facts, and let's look at the statistical data, and then let's go and tell everybody that, you know, these people, they don't need these subsidies, and they don't need SNAP, and they don't need socialized anything. They don't need no assistance with housing or any of this kind of stuff. They're just lazy and they don't work hard enough. Why these people sit up there and do what the fuck they do all the time. Oops. Can't hear his stupid mouth. Let's go.
Previous question is...
Oh, order. They're pissed.
Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say nay. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. For what purpose does the gentleman from Massachusetts
Vote,
rise?
Mr. Speaker.
He
was in the will, Mr. Speaker. He was in the will. This is an outrage.
A sufficient number having risen, a recorded vote is ordered. Members will record their vote by electronic device. 204, the nays are 203. Previous question is
Jesus. I guess I would just say, how many people out there want to pay $600, $700, $800 a month for health insurance? Imagine paying. I mean, you're just paying as much as a mortgage payment for health insurance, like $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 for a family. You could own like a fucking 3-bedroom home for paying health insurance, and then the worst part is we're being insuranced to death, right? So we have health insurance, have all this shit. Drug companies are charging thousands of dollars for a pill and pills and fucking healthcare, absorbent amounts of money to see doctors. Fucking crazy shit. And then we got a government that literally has essentially... One of the things that's the biggest red flag to me, and I know it's going to seem like maybe off the beaten path a little bit, is the fact that he reclassified nursing degrees as not a professional degree. And that's something that just feels like, between that and what's going on with the healthcare lobby, or with the insurance, it makes me feel like it's straight big healthcare lobby that's pulling the strings on this one, because they declassify that degree program and make it a non-professional degree, and then they can't get as much money to attend school to become a nurse. Nurses are like one of the most essential frontline healthcare workers we have in this country. He goes and does something like that and disrespects the career choice that people make to serve people. It's not an easy job either. But here's the thing, right? He does that, so that's kind of like the big doctor lobby, right? So they don't have to pay as much now, I guess, to these folks if they don't want to, or they definitely don't have to give them as much money to go to school. Maybe it discourages people from going into the field. Maybe, I don't know. There's a bunch of consequences I can see coming from that, but that's just a little example of the attack that these conservatives have on the healthcare system being for people of the working class. Trump talked about and literally said Cadillac healthcare. He added classism to healthcare. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what we need to watch out. That's literally dystopian. It's dystopian to add classism to healthcare. Because what are we going to do? Live in a future when literally healthcare is so expensive only rich people can afford it, and they get the healthcare and then the rest of us get to suffer? Oh, we're sorry about your leg. I guess we're just going to have to cut it off, and if you die of gangrene, okay. But in the far future, maybe a billionaire just goes, oh well, they grew you a new leg in the tank over here. We're gonna go ahead and sew it on your body, and you'll be good. You know, I don't know. Pick any sci-fi imagination generated future that you want, but I mean that's the way it's gonna be. And with the capitalism, classism, adding classism to healthcare. Healthcare is a human right, and everybody should have it on the whole planet. And when we start thinking that way about human living beings and value life again, which seems like this is the administration that doesn't even value life. They figure it's fucking expendable, I guess. We get back to valuing life and on the planet, or getting to that point in general to begin with, we might be able to actually start thinking about not having wars and death and all this shit. But we seem to not be able to do that. We kind of just separate ourselves, segregate ourselves, and try to convince everybody that we're better. It's like a deep-seated social Darwinistic kind of perspective on how the world is arranged with the imperialist of, countries like the United States and others, but then they have all these politicians sitting up here arguing over the fact that the people who are the ones that pay all the taxes, the ones who go out in the world and work and make the money and then spend the money on products and buy the imports that they get the tariffs off of and contribute the taxes into the economy that buys the bombs that goes to Gaza and kills children, but they can't give those people just health care. Can't have that. It's too good. It's too much of a handout. You're not going to be as motivated. You're not going to be as motivated if we give you health care. That's fucking stupid. And it's like, I don't understand their philosophy and where they get it. I mean, it's just oppression. It's the impression the best. But these people right here, they are, they're all fucking horrible. Every one of them. I mean, we wouldn't be in this problem right now if the centrist Democrats wouldn't have fucking, slid on the last fucking vote. Like, oh, they wanted to get it done for the food. Okay, cool. I'm grateful for that. I'm fucking grateful for that. But it's like, well, we needed a deal for food and health care. So they got 50% of that deal done, And then they're up here arguing and fighting, and then these Republicans, these conservative asshole people that can't imagine what it's like to have literally, some people have less than $50 in their bank account. And they can't imagine what that's like because of look at the lives they live. And those are the people we elect to represent us, the everyday average working class, blue collar, essentially low key white collar jobs like, services and stuff like that, to represent us and think that they're going to do something that's in the interest of us, and it's really just in the interest of the, corporations that continue to pay money for them to be elected and to pay money for their advertisements to be in front of everybody's face all the time. All the millions and millions and millions they spend on acquiring the power to abuse the power and essentially tell us all that we don't deserve any help or social safety nets. It's crazy. Oh, gosh.
Turn now to Chile, looking at the election of Jose Antonio Cast, who's set to become Chile's most right-wing leader since the U.S.-backed dictator Augusto Pinochet. In Sunday's election, Cast won about 58% of the vote, defeating Jeanette Jara, a member of the Communist Party.
The major problems that Chileans constantly are speaking about is too much immigration, enormous amount of crime, though the crime is not linked to immigrants as the right wing will say. It's mostly Chileans against Chileans, but it doesn't matter. That's their message, and people are buying it. And the problem of affordability.
They always buy it.
But you know, Cast would not be able to have this victory, this significant victory, in which a series of people who are not necessarily against democracy want security in their lives. Cast would not have been able to fill this void if the center-left had not, over many, many years, in some senses, turned its back on the troubles of the people.
Oh, that sounds about like the United States, doesn't it? Doesn't that sound just like the United States? He just fucking basically showed you a model where exactly what's happening in this country happened there too. The same model. A bunch of centrists allowed the right to go further and further right, and instead of going, hang on a second, get back over here with us, they're like, fuck it, we're gonna come a little more right too. And be right in the middle, I guess, somewhere past middle, leaning right. They're constant catering to stupid ideology, like, you know, this whole fucking Christian centrist ideology in the United States and white nationalism and all this shit, you know. I don't know what to say about that. It's interesting though, because you can see the same shit happening somewhere else, you know. But this guy, I guess he's like some kind of fucking crazy. Well, didn't you say that he was a Nazi or something?
Yeah, I think he's related to a Nazi.
He's related to a Nazi.
I don't know if they brought it up or if that was something else, but
I thought that's what I saw or heard. So, I guess we'll keep an eye on that one. But, yeah. Crazy shit. Brown University manhunt shooter.
My family and I wanted a fresh start, but we didn't want the hassle of selling our home. So I went to markspain.com.
Let's talk to retired FBI agent Jack Jupe and former FBI investigator Bill Daley and former Las Vegas Police Lieutenant Randy Sutton. Thank you, gentlemen, for being with us here today. Bill Daley, we will start with you. Let's talk about this second person of interest, Bill. It seems that he is being characterized as someone who was in the proximity.
Oh, they got a face picture?
The killer. May or may not
Damn.
have had a conversation.
Low key.
As the chief said, the colonel said.
Is that enhanced? Is that why it's got so many shadows?
Spoke together. But the suggestion, filling in the blanks, is that this person simply might have been a witness. With leaving open
crazy.
the possibility
I mean, I guess it was low resolution
more,
or
but
something.
in asking this person to come forward and give us that information, it seems to be, in this case, they're looking for a witness.
Yeah, well, it certainly seems at this point that this person they don't believe was, I say, intimately involved. As you said, the offer is for the person to kind of, you know, voluntarily come forward. I would say, Will, is that having worked in my early part of my career with the Bureau as a special photographer, I can tell you that the image of this individual, and it could probably even be further maybe enhanced as they go along, will be to compare it through facial recognition with other databases. They can compare it to student databases at Brown. They can compare it to DMV databases, et cetera, those are publicly available. So there may be some other angle in order to identify who this person is. But I think going back to this point is that this person is kind of collateral to the incident. The primary individual of interest is the one we've seen the other images of, but perhaps this person can lend some further detail as to maybe if there was a conversation, if he kind of saw close up who the person was to get a better description of that person, you know, even close where he's wearing a mask, something like that.
Jack, as a supervisor of the FBI's terrorism task force, I'm tempted to ask you, what do you think law enforcement is doing right now? I do think we got some color into that in that press conference. It sounds like they are literally going door to door, trying to look at ring video, home surveillance cameras. And it really seems to me, and I lean on you as the expert, it seems to me they're still starting from first base. They're actually looking for a lead. So I'm tempted to ask you, think there's more going on behind the scenes, more advanced than we believe? Or is that evidence, as it seems to me, that we're still starting from square one?
Yeah, there definitely is, Will. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. As my former colleague Paul Morrow said, and Paul and I have worked together since 9/11. I know Paul very well. He brings up some very good points. The first point being, somebody's going to recognize this guy. Somebody knows who this guy is. And as your other guests have said, turn yourself in. If there's an issue, there's no issue. There's no reason not to come in and say, I may be a witness. I may have seen something or heard something. That being said, if he doesn't, that's fine. But this is going much beyond. I hate to say this, but we're 5 days into this. And the fact of the matter is, this person could be overseas already. This person could be out of the country. He could be in Wisconsin. He could be in California, Mexico, South America. He could be anywhere. So the fact of the matter is, we're squaring off a small area, Will. That's not consistent with what the FBI will do. The FBI is going to expand this. You got to expand this. It's 5 days. I can get out of the country in 6 hours. In 5 days, I can be anywhere. So it's something to think about.
Which, by the way, while I respect that there's a lot more going on behind the scenes, it does seem to validate my suspicion that we're not very far along in this investigation. There does not seem to be an indication that you have any strong leads to, in your example, expand this beyond a 30 square block radius around Brown University, looking for a random video that gives you that initial lead. Jack, I want to ask you about initial leads. Again, these are things that I wonder how significant these details are and how much of a contribution they will be into ultimately identifying this suspect. People have talked about, number one, his gait, Jack. Second, that two-tone jacket. I don't know how unique it is or if we can see a brand on that jacket, but those seem to be two distinguishing characteristics beyond his build. And then finally, I'm just going to lay these three things at your feet, Jack. We don't know if this was a targeted killing. There are suggestions, there are suspicions, there are questions about whether or not, for example, Ella Cook was a target in this attack. And if that's the case, wouldn't you be looking at everyone who has ever come into contact with Ella Cook? To you, Jack.
100%. And, Will, you brought up a good point about his walk, his gait. I hate to say this, I hate to bring it up. But, in the Charlie Kirk assassination, his mother turned him in because she recognized the way he walked and the way he acted, the way he moved. That is a very important thing. I know my friends. I know how they walk. I know how they talk. I know how they look. That's a very important thing. And again, you can't concentrate enough on. We need the public's help on this case. The public can come forward. There is somebody out there that knows, whether they're right there in the Providence area, Brown University, or they're in California, or they're overseas. There are people that know who this person is. And this person will make mistakes. They always do. And they're going to talk. And it's going to get out there. And we need the public's help on this. I can't exercise that opinion enough.
Yeah, because it doesn't look like we're very far down the road on identifying the perpetrator behind this horrible act at Brown University. Jack, Bill, Randy, thank you so much for being with us here today. As we can. Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the.
Shut up. So yeah, interesting that you can walk into a institution of higher learning with a firearm and shoot up a bunch of students and leave and not get caught. I mean, it's kind of fucked up if you think about it, right? Because, we live in a time where there's cameras everywhere. It's almost, we're literally in a surveillance state, They track us by phones and shit, I wonder, my question would be this, and if I was investigating this, the first thing I would be doing is I'd be figuring out every phone that pinged off of every phone, every fucking tower in that area. That if you could triangulate it, I think you could triangulate it pretty close. So I'd triangulate every single phone and make a big list, and I'd put it into some data processing software. I don't know, AI probably now. And then I would figure out, which ones, I would get all the numbers of all the people that were there, that were present. And then I would figure out which ones were them and which ones weren't. And then the ones that weren't, then I would start going down the list and finding out as much as I can about them, and then use that deduction. Deduction's how you figure out these things, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to use a lot of deduction to figure out who done this. And I will not be, and I'm just going to be honest, I would be very, 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 very surprised if they don't have a suspect in custody pretty soon. I mean, we do have the incompetent FBI handling this, with the incompetent Kash Patel running it, the most horrible FBI director in the history of the United States. This man is so bad, he's going to go down in history. There's going to be pictures of him in history books. They're going to say, this man was a failure to the FBI. That's what it's going to say. It's going to be like those plaques hanging in the White House now where Trump is rewriting history. It's fucking great, right? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's crazy that, you know, we have essentially almost around the same time and the same day we have this go down, and we have you know, this other crazy shit going down, and I don't know. Hopefully they catch somebody. And then, you know what, the other thing to talk about is how they go straight into trying to blame as someone who's Islamic and queer. Because, you know, that's the narrative they're trying to create. They're trying to create a narrative in this country where it's queer people and any other religion but Christianity is the enemy. That's what he talks about, the enemy within. That's why they're going after Islam in general. You know, because it's fucking Islamophobia city up there in Washington, D.C. with the conservatives. They're fucking crazy. I feel bad for the person of interest that they were talking about at first that actually isn't a person of interest, and it being pegged like that, doxed, if you will. And fucking people are always doxing people and trying to go out and you know, cause all kinds of trouble for them. But I mean, well, he was Palestinian, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Was it they, them, or he, him?
He, him, as far as I know.
Okay. I'm just checking because they said queer, and I heard possibly transgender.
Oh, okay.
So I wasn't sure what the pronouns were. I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there. If anybody knows what the pronouns are, I would love to know that. Maybe, because a lot of times what happens, and I know this to be true, if you're transgender and you haven't done all the legal work, you're not going to get any respect about your pronouns from anybody after, you know, an incident or after you're dead, especially. Anything like that. It's one of the most horrible things, the horrible parts about being trans in this country is they want to take your identity away as soon as you're not there to defend it. You know? It's horrible that people would want to rip someone's dignity away from them like that. I mean, it's really not Christ-like. And they're very Christian, you know, so they claim, you know, oh, we're the Christians. We're the chosen ones of Jesus Christ. White Jesus on a cross. They're whitewashed Jesus. But they want to, you know, demonize a group of people. Interesting. Oh yeah, Trump tonight. What time is it? Oh, we got like 10 minutes. We got 10 minutes. We got to listen to this fart face talk about stupid shit and garbage. I love how they try to take a photo of him that looks presidential, but it's just fucking not.
Right.
He's like, that's been photoshopped anyways. I'm sure they doctored that one to make him look better. Jesus Christ, this man's a wreck. When's the heart disease gonna catch up? The fucking flaring in the legs, the fucking edema, the cankles. How's he fucking? He goes out and golfs with fucking water retention. What the fuck, man? Golf is their exercise. That's how they stay in shape. Oh, it's so working for you, isn't it? Fuck. I don't know. I mean, he's 80-some years old. And it seems like this is all we have in this country is a bunch of people who are fucking 79, 80 years old making all the decisions for the rest of us like they're somehow elders and they know better. And he's so far off the beaten path of reality of anybody else in this country, it's ridiculous. He's always known privilege. He's never known what it's like to actually fucking have to work for anything. He's had everything handed to him. He's a rich kid. Fucking rich kid. That's all he is. Oh. Look, we got a countdown clock, everybody.
Exciting things.
There's the
happening.
countdown clock right there. And this is where it's going to be. So we got 10 minutes, 9 minutes now exactly until the countdown of the big man. Big Donald Trump. And his McGangbangs and his Diet Coke. And we're the best people. And his fucking inflated ego is going to be able to start to attempt to address the nation from the teleprompter, but then the teleprompter is going to play, and he's going to be on a tangent. And everybody producing the show is going to be back there like, oh, fuck, what do we do? Oh, just go with it. It's fucking crazy that this is the president of the United States. What do we got while we're waiting for that? Oh, the plaques. Love the plaques.
Oh, true.
Gotta do the plaques before big diarrhea face comes on the fucking mic. And he's gonna do a mic drop and it's gonna be crickets. Mm-hmm. The mic drop's gonna be crickets. He'd be like, drop my mic. And we're all going to be like, crickets. Motherfuckers that left. The janitor's sweeping the floor. Mm-hmm. That's how it is. That's where he's heading. Look at this shit. Look at this fucking shit. Who does this? Months after President Donald Trump refashioned a West Wing walkway into what he calls the Presidential Walk of Fame, he has added partisan and subjective plaques to the display, deepening his fingerprints on the White House's aesthetic and continuing his effort to bend the telling of history to his liking. Doesn't this sound familiar, everybody? What? Dictator? Oh, this is dictator shit. Dictator shit is where you talk about all your opposition and your predecessors who were your opposition like they're some kind of fucking enemy of the state. From Sleepy Joe Biden references to painting Republican icon Ronald Reagan as a fan of a young Trump. What the fuck is this? Like, this is like Hitler type shit. He's been hanging out with fucking the leader of North Korea too much. They're such butt buddies. The installation is the Republican president's latest move to shape the White House and his image, an effort that has spanned from adorning the Oval Office to raising the East Wing in preparation for a massive ballroom addition. Oh, he's just settling right in, isn't he? You think he's going to go in a couple more years? Fucking 3 years from now? He's not going to go. They don't want to go. They want to stay. They're going to make sure of it. Look at this. It's so embarrassing. It's fucking embarrassing. I'm sure he has something fucked up to say about everybody. Bill Clinton. The fact that it says Sleepy Joe Biden is insane. It literally says Sleepy Joe Biden was, by far, the worst president in American history, taking office as a result of the most corrupt election ever in the United States. Biden oversaw a series of unprecedented distress that brought our nation to the brink of destruction. What the fuck? How is this publicly displayed in the fucking building? On federal property. We're just gonna rewrite history in the fucking because Donald Trump said so. This is what history books are gonna read like one of these days with these people doing what they do to the Department of Education. This would be fucking terrible. Oh, but he's the best. He's the greatest. Just the greatest. It's literally a picture of the auto pen. That's so fucked up.
He's such an old queen.
He is a queen. He's throwing shade like a drag queen. This fucking queen. What the fuck? It's childish. How is this childish shit going on in our country, and why are we allowing this man to do it? Fuck you, dude. Fuck you. How about that? Fuck you. Fuck you.
Why is he even wasting time doing this?
Why is he wasting our taxpayers' dollars doing this? You know how much those plaques probably cost a piece? They're probably $2,000 a piece, but you can't have $300 a month worth of food stamps because you're lazy.
Right? You ever try to frame something at Michael's?
Look at those frames. I bet you at Michael's it would have been $2,000 a piece.
I don't even know what those would be. They're crazy.
They look gilded. It's the government. You know everything's 4 or 5 times as more expensive than it actually is. That's crazy. We got 3 more minutes, and we're going to be chiming in. We're going to go right into it right now. And we're live. For the wonderful, amazing, most magnificent, unbelievable address of the nation by Donald J. Trump, the greatest, most wonderful, fearless leader of the United States that's ever existed in the history of man. He is greater than all the presidents put together. And you should all bow down and kiss his feet, and everybody should have a tattoo of his face on their ass. Every billboard in America should have something with Trump on it. Our big, beautiful president and his big, beautiful bill and his amazing success as the leader of the United States with his horrible presidential look and his uncouth attitude and his incredible criminality and his amazing misogyny and sexual assault abilities. Yeah. How many sexual assault charges? It's fucked up. You've had 15 women go to the authorities and say, he sexually assaulted me. Oh, I'm sure he did. He did her. You know what's gonna be funny is the fucking police show up wherever he's at, and he just looks at this money person and goes, "Go out and pay him." It's like turning into a 1980s action movie.
That's what he wants. He loves
I know, he's best friends with Rambo.
He loves blood sport.
Yeah, he loves blood sport. I don't think Jean-Claude would be a big fan of his, though. I'd be surprised. feel like we're about ready to start a fucking boxing match. This is where he's going to tell everybody he's going to go to war with Venezuela. Yeah, that's where he's going to say it, and then tonight they're going to start a sortie.
They probably are on the phone right now.
Yeah? For sure.
All he gets is face powder.
Are we out
This
of pickles?
program was made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you.
Are you ready for this
Thank you.
shit? You got your earpiece in? Okay.
Welcome to live special coverage of President Trump's address to the nation.
Speaking from the White House diplomatic reception room, the president is expected to lay out what he sees as his accomplishments so far this year on foreign policy, immigration, and the economy. The speech comes as the president's approval rating sinks to the lowest of his second term. In a new PBS News NPR Marist poll, 38% of Americans
greatest president in the history of the world's
The
job
president will
performance.
also use the speech tonight to look ahead to his policy priorities for the year
He's
to
the
come.
worst fucking
Our
thing
own
that ever
Liz
happened to the
Landers
United
is at the
States.
White House now. So Liz,
The
help us
worst
understand
thing
why the president
ever.
is using this moment for a primetime address.
Jeff, tonight's speech is expected to be a reflection of the last year. We are anticipating hearing from the president tout his administration's aggressive agenda on items like immigration, like this major tax and spending bill that passed over the summer, and also on the economy, on those tariff policies that have been implemented in the last year.
Liz Landers reporting live for us at the White House tonight. We'll bring you continued coverage, but for now, we take you live to the White House and the President of the United States.
Oh, here's our fearless leader. Look, surrounded in
Good evening,
Christmas
America.
trees.
11 months ago, I inherited a mess, and I'm fixing it. When I took office, inflation was the worst in 48 years, and some would say in the history of our country, which caused prices to be higher than ever before, making life unaffordable for millions and millions of Americans. This happened during a Democrat administration, and it's when we first began hearing the word affordability. Our border was open, and because of this, our country was being invaded by an
whatever
army of
narrative he has in his
25
head.
million people,
It's so crazy.
many who came from prisons and jails, mental institutions, and insane
I love how he
asylums.
throws the
They
mental
were drug
institutions
dealers,
and insane
gang members,
asylums
and
under the
even
bed, like, having a mental
11,888
health problem
murders,
is just
more than
heinous.
50% of whom killed more than one person.
He did say
this is
insane
what the
asylums.
Biden administration
It's not.
allowed to happen to our country.
Not anymore.
And it can never be allowed to happen
It used
again.
to be a thing.
We
Not
had men
anymore.
playing in women's sports, transgender for everybody.
Listen,
crime at record levels.
Men
law
playing in women's
enforcement,
sports, transgender for everybody.
Words such as that just absolutely forbidden.
Can you believe
we had the
this
worst
man
trade deals
goes
ever
on
made,
national
and our
TV
country was
and
laughed
insults
at
an entire,
from all over the
like,
world.
2 million
But they're
people,
not
2 million
laughing
Americans.
anymore. Over the past 11 months, we have brought more positive
Trump,
change to
you're a
Washington
fucking
than any administration in American history. There's never been anything
He's the
like
biggest
it, and
liar
I think
that's
most
ever
would
existed on
agree.
the planet.
I was
This
elected
is a
in a landslide,
timeshare
winning the popular
salesperson.
vote, and all
He's
7
ready to sell
swing
you a
states
timeshare.
and everything
That's how you
else
look at this.
with a mandate to
You gonna believe him?
take on
Sign
a
on the
sick and
dotted
corrupt
line.
system.
See how that goes for you.
Really just took the wealth from people and crushed the dreams of the American people. For the last
fuck.
4 years, the United
Fuck.
States was ruled by politicians who fought only for insiders, illegal
long is
aliens,
this again?
career criminals, corporate lobbyists, prisoners, terrorists, and
Corporate
above all,
lobbyists,
foreign
they're your
nations
best friends.
which took advantage of us.
You're
at
literally
levels
a
never seen
lobbyist.
before. They flooded your cities and towns with illegal aliens. They decimated your hard-earned
Humans
savings.
are illegal.
They indoctrinated
Illegal
your children
aliens.
with hate for
Here,
America.
show me the Greys.
Released-
I want to
really,
talk
I mean,
to
they
them.
just
I want to talk to
released
them
a
Greys.
level of violent
We need to get them
felons that
Greys going.
we had never seen to prey on innocent They caused war. They caused mayhem.
We
They
caused
a
war,
horrible
they caused
situation
it.
all over the globe. But
What about the
now
war that you're
you have a
causing?
president who fights for the law-abiding, hard-working people of our country, the ones
What
who
was that?
make
I'm
this nation run, who make this nation work. And after just
They are
1
gonna
year, we have
deport
achieved more
migratory
than anyone could have
birds. That's
imagined.
right. That's what Emily
Starting
said.
on day one, I
That's
took
funny.
immediate action to stop the invasion of our southern border. For the past 7 months, 0 illegal aliens have been
I
allowed
gotta
into
get a fart button
our country, a
for every
feat
time
which
this guy
everyone
talks
said
out of
was
his butthole.
absolutely impossible.
Because he literally
Do
talks
you
out his
remember when
butthole.
Joe Biden said
That's
that he
his
needed
asshole. That's
Congress
not
to
his
pass
mouth.
legislation to help close the
That's
border?
his asshole.
He
I
was
mean, if
always
you got
blaming
close enough, this guy
Congress
ought
and
to smell
everyone
shit.
else. As it turned out,
There's
we
just
didn't
shit
need
coming out of his
legislation.
mouth
We
right
just
now.
needed a new president.
It's dumping shit.
We
everywhere.
inherited the worst border anywhere in the world, and we quickly turned it
The
into
worst
the
border
strongest border
anywhere in the
in
world.
the history of our country. In other words, in a few short months, we went from worst to best. We're deporting criminals, restoring safety to our most dangerous cities. Just take a look at Washington, D.C. It's at levels of safety
not
that
that
we've
good at
never
reading
seen
the
before.
teleprompter.
And they
I think I could do a
decimated
better
the
job.
bloodthirsty
I
foreign
could
drug
just walked in and
cartels.
improv
We
that
did
shit
that
and done
all
better.
by ourselves with our people, and we're so proud of it because they were poisoning and destroying our population. Drugs brought in by ocean and by sea are now down.
Don't you think it's
94%.
interesting how they're just
We
so
have
worried about
broken the
saving us
grip
from
of sinister
ourselves?
woke radicals
them
in our schools
horrible, evil
and control
drugs
over
are ruining
those
our
schools
streets and
is
our
back
children.
now in the hands of our great and loving states.
Like people
where
don't make decisions
education
about their own
belongs.
lives. You know?
After rebuilding the
You
United
guys are the
States
ones that are
military in
fucking
my first
fostering
term,
the drugs
and
and
with
the
the
drug
addition we
trade
are adding
and
right
fostering
now,
all the
we have
disparity.
the most powerful military anywhere in the world, and it's not even close. I've restored American strength, settled 8 wars in 10 months, destroyed the Iran
Settled
nuclear
8 wars
threat,
in
and
10 months,
ended the
but
war in Gaza, bringing for the
we're
first
gonna
time
go
in
start another one,
3,000
everybody.
years, peace to the Middle East, and secured the release of the hostages,
There's no
both
peace in the
living
Middle East.
and dead. Here at
Have you
home,
paid
we're
attention to what's
bringing
going
our
on in Gaza?
economy back from the brink of ruin. The last administration
Peace
and their
in the Middle
allies
East.
in Congress
What
looted our
about
treasury for
Ukraine,
trillions of dollars,
fuckface?
driving up prices and everything at levels never seen before. I am bringing those high prices down and bringing them down very fast.
Sure, I
Let's
felt that
look
the
at
other day when I went to the
Under
grocery
Biden
store and
administration,
spent
car
$70
prices
on
rose
nothing.
22%, and in many states, 30% or more. Gasoline rose 30 to 50%. Hotel rates rose 37%. Airfares rose 31%. Now, under our leadership, they are all coming down and coming down fast. Democrat politicians also sent the cost of groceries soaring. But we are solving that too.
I like how they
The
blame
price of a
everything on the
Thanksgiving
Democrats,
turkey
and it
was
all
down
happened after he became
33%
president.
compared to the Biden last year. The price of eggs is down 82% since March, and everything else is
It's
falling
not that hard for it to
rapidly.
be down
And
82%
it's
since
not
March
done
when it
yet.
was gouged
Boy,
to
are we
fucking
making
insane
progress.
levels.
Nobody can believe what's going on. Here are just some of the efforts that we have underway. You will see in your wallets and bank accounts in the new year. After years of record-setting falling incomes, our policies are boosting take-home pay at a historic pace. Under Biden, real wages plummeted by $3,000. Under Trump, the typical factory worker has seen a wage increase of $1,300. For construction workers,
year?
it's $1,800. For miners,
Or per
we're
month?
bringing back clean, beautiful coal. It's $3,300. And for the first time in years, wages are rising much faster than inflation. Remember that. The wages, just look at it. Wages are going up much faster than inflation. How big is that?
Bullshit.
Very importantly, there are more people working today than at any time in American history.
That's why you didn't want to do the
and
jobs report, right?
100% of all jobs created since I took office have been in the private sector. Think of that. 100% of all jobs have been in the
No
private
GDP
sector rather
report,
than government,
no job
which
report.
is the only way to make a country powerful and
That's
great.
really good, Barry. Thank
This
you.
historic trend will continue. Already,
sweetheart.
I've secured a record-breaking $18 trillion of investment into the United States, which means jobs,
18
wage
trillion.
increases, growth, factory openings, and far greater national security. Much of this success has been accomplished by tariffs. My favorite word, tariffs, which for many decades have been used successfully by other countries against us, but not anymore. Companies know that if they build in America, there are no tariffs, and that's why they're coming home to the USA in record numbers. They're building factories and plants at levels we haven't seen. AI, automobiles, we're doing
They're definitely
what nobody
building
thought
AI
was
because they
even
want to take
possible,
away your
not
jobs
even
with
remotely
automatons.
possible. There has never, frankly, been anything like
Billionaires
it.
have hard-ons
1 year ago, our
over
country was
AI
dead.
and the
We were
ability to take away
absolutely
everybody's
dead.
jobs.
Our country was ready to fail. Totally failed. Now, we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. And that's said by every single leader that I've spoken to over the last 5 months.
If you believe this, I have a vacation
Next year,
for you.
you will also see the results of the largest tax cuts in American
great
history.
vacation. It's the nicest
that were
vacation you could
really
ever get.
accomplished through our great,
For the
big,
cheapest price
beautiful
you've ever
bill,
seen in your
perhaps the
life.
most sweeping legislation ever passed in Congress. We wrapped 12 different bills up into one beautiful bill. That includes no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security
cares?
for our
No
great
tax on
seniors.
overtime? We shouldn't even be
Under
talking
these
about
cuts,
overtime.
Many families will be saving
People should be paid so well that when if they are offered overtime, they should just tell them to
and next
tell their
spring
employers
is
to go hire
projected
somebody
to be
else.
the largest tax refund season of all time.
Sure.
Because of tariffs, along with the just passed One Big Beautiful Bill, tonight I am also proud to announce that more than 1,450,000, think of this, 1,450,000 military service members will receive a special, we call Warrior Dividend before Christmas, a Warrior Dividend. In honor of our nation's founding in 1776, we are sending every soldier $1,776.
What the
Think of
fuck?
that.
So dumb.
And the checks are already
Stop.
on the way. Nobody understood that one until about 30 minutes ago. We made a lot more money than anybody thought.
See, this
because
was
of
the
tariffs, and the bill
$2,000
helped
you're
us
gonna promise
along.
everybody. Now you just
Nobody
went and sent it
deserves
to
it more than our
soldiers.
military,
So
and I
he
say
can- so he can butter their asses, so
everybody.
he's
And
got a
by the
little
way,
more loyalty.
We now have record enlistment in our military, and last year we had among the worst recruitment numbers.
We don't
in
have
our
record
military's
enlistment.
history. What a difference a year
That's a
makes.
lie.
In
I'm
addition,
fact-checking this
I'm doing
motherfucker.
what no politician of either party has ever done, standing up to the special interest to dramatically
you
reduce the
believe how
price
he
of
brags?
prescription drugs. I
He
negotiated
just brags about
directly with the
himself
drug
and his
companies,
accomplishments. He
foreign
doesn't talk
nations,
about the American
which
people
were taking
or
advantage of our
address
country
the
for many
American
decades
people.
to
He's
slash
just talking about how
prices
awesome
on
he
drugs
is.
and pharmaceuticals by as much as 400, 500, and even 600%. In other words,
Did
your
not.
drug costs will be plummeting downward. And I use the threat of tariffs to get foreign countries who would
The only
never have
way-
done it
the only
to pay
thing-
the cost of this giant dollar
Drug
reduction.
prices coming
They
down
stopped
is going to
ripping
affect
us
the
off,
people who
and
are
it
selling the
began
drugs.
as of 4 days ago. There has never been anything like this in the history of our country. Drugs have only gone up, but now they'll be going down by numbers never conceived possible.
Bullshit.
It's called Most Favored Nation, and no president has ever had the courage or ability to get this done until now. The first of these unprecedented price reductions will be available starting in January through a new website, TrumpRx.gov. And these big price cuts will greatly reduce the cost of health care. I'm also taking on the
He's
gigantic
selling
health
drugs now.
insurance companies that have gotten rich on billions of dollars of money
He's
that should go
grifting
directly
drugs.
to the people. The money should go to the people. That's you. So they can buy their
He's full
own
of
health
shit. What is he, a
insurance, which will
socialist
give
now?
far better benefits at much lower costs. It will be far better health
Well, read
insurance.
between the lines.
The
Read
current
the small
Unaffordable
print.
Care Act was created to make insurance companies rich. It was bad health care at much too high a cost. And you see that now in the steep increase in premiums being demanded by the Democrats, and they are demanding those increases, and it's their fault. It is not
Oh
the
my
Republicans'
God.
fault.
Is he
It's
in the
the
same world as
Democrats'
the rest
fault.
of us?
It's the Unaffordable Care Act, and everybody knew it. Again, I want the money to go directly to the people so you can buy your own health care. You'll get much better health care at a much lower price. The only
We're not.
losers will be insurance companies, that have gotten rich, and the Democrat Party, which is totally
People
controlled
are
by
already
those
talking
same
about they're
insurance
going to
companies.
spend $1,500,
They will not
$2,000
be
a
happy.
month,
But that's
$4,000
okay with
a
me
month
because
for
you, the
families.
people, are finally going to be getting great health
You get
care
some
at a
cheap
lower
health care with an
cost.
$8,000
Another major
deductible. It's
focus
like
is
you don't
the
even
cost
have
of
health care. So
energy.
what's the point?
For years, the radical left Democrats exploited the green
a
energy
crackhead
scam
billionaire.
as
He
an
doesn't
excuse
understand
to
how shit
funnel
works.
many billions of dollars into their own massive slush funds as their energy restrictions drastically drove up prices, and they drove them up at record levels. Electricity costs surged 30 to 100% under Biden, and the typical family lost $5,000 to $10,000 in higher energy costs. Think of that, $5,000 to $10,000 you lost. On day one, I declared a national energy emergency. Gasoline is now under $2.50 a gallon in much of the country. In some states, it, by the way, just hit $1.99 a gallon.
Where?
And within the next 12 months, we will have opened 1,600 new electrical generating plants, a record, and it's a record that won't be beaten by practically, I would say, by anybody, or certainly not very soon. Prices on electricity and everything else will fall dramatically. The Democrat inflation disaster, again, the worst in the history of our country, also robbed millions of Americans of home ownership and indeed the American dream. The yearly cost of a typical new mortgage increased by $15,000 under Democrat rule. In 11 months, we've already gotten that annual cost down by $3,000, and it's coming down a lot lower. Wait till you see, the numbers are going to be shocking. And I'll soon announce our next chairman of the Federal Reserve, someone who believes in lower interest rates by a lot, and mortgage payments will be coming down even further. Early the new year, and you will see this, in the new year I will announce some of the most aggressive housing reform plans in American history. A major factor in driving up housing costs was the colossal border invasion. We have never been invaded. This is the worst thing that, frankly, in my opinion, the worst thing that the Biden administration did to our country is the invasion at the border. The last administration and their allies in Congress brought in millions and millions of migrants and gave them taxpayer-funded housing, while your rent and 60% of growth in the rental market came from foreign migrants.
Is he really
At the same time,
wants us all to
illegal
believe
aliens
that
stole American
immigrants is the
jobs
reason why
and flooded emergency
corporate
rooms, getting
billionaires
free
and
health care and
corporations,
education
multi-billion-dollar
paid for
corporations
by
buy
you,
up
the
large
American
strips of land
taxpayer. They also increased the
and
cost
large
of law
amounts of
enforcement by
apartment
numbers so
complexes
high
and
that they are not even to
conglomerates
be
them
mentioned.
so they can charge
For the first
exorbitant
time in
amounts of
50
rent.
years, we are now seeing reverse migration as migrants go back home, leaving more housing and more jobs for Americans.
More housing doesn't
In the
mean
year
cheaper
before my
prices.
election, all net
They're still
creation
changing
of
Trump's
jobs
the
was
same
going
shit.
to foreign migrants. Since I took office, 100% of all net job creation has gone to American-born citizens. 100%. In the end, government either serves the productive, patriotic, hardworking
jobs.
American citizen, or it serves those who break
That's
the laws,
they took
cheat
our
the
jobs,
system,
Bobby.
and seek power and profit at the expense of our nation. Look at Minnesota, where Somalians have taken over the economics of the state and have stolen
throw
billions
Minnesota
and
under the bus.
billions of dollars from Minnesota and indeed from the United States of America. And we're going to put an end to it. For so long as before my election, the vast majority of good and decent Americans were
He's
forced to watch
exhausting.
as corrupt politicians plundered the halls of power, exploited our taxpayers, and pillaged every system that makes civilized society function. But not anymore, and you see that every day. Not
it all.
anymore. We're putting America
their
first,
fault.
and we are making America great again. Very simple. We are making America great again. Tonight, after
brown
11
people's
months, our
fault.
border is secure.
It's only
Inflation
for
is
white
stopped.
people. It's an
Wages
exclusive
are
club.
up. Prices are down. Our nation is strong. America is respected, and our country is back, stronger than ever before. We're poised for an economic
Sure it
boom
is.
the likes of which
That's
the
why
world
your
has never seen. Soon we will host the
disapproval
World Cup
rating is
and
about
the Olympics,
54%.
both of which I got. But most importantly, we will celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, there could
A
be
document that
no
he
more
wishes he could get rid
fitting
of.
tribute to this epic milestone than to complete the comeback of America that began just 1 year ago. When the world looks at us next year, let them see a nation that is loyal to its citizens, faithful to its workers, confident to its identity, certain to its destiny, and the envy of the entire globe. We are respected again like we have never been respected
of the entire
before.
globe.
To each and every one of you, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. God bless you all.
White nationalist ideologies.
There you have the President of the United States
Oh,
speaking in
that's
just
it?
under 20 minutes
Oh,
or so
gosh,
to
I'm so
the
glad it's
American
over.
public in rapid-fire remarks, making big claims about what his administration's been able to achieve over the last 11 months, and speaking to a country, Jeff, it's fair to say,
PBS.
losing confidence in his ability to lead on the economy.
Joining us for analysis now are our White House correspondent, Liz Landers, congressional correspondent, Lisa Desjardins, and foreign affairs and defense correspondent, Nick Schifrin. Liz, we'll start with you at the White House. After mocking Democrats' focus on affordability, the president, in his speech tonight, implicitly acknowledged that pocketbook issues are, for him, a political liability. What are some of the takeaways from what you heard tonight?
Jeff, I made a note here that the president switched in this speech tonight to addressing affordability, housing prices, grocery prices, electricity prices at about 6 minutes into his speech. So pretty far up at the top, he started to talk about this. And we have seen the president do domestic travel on this issue recently. He went just last week to Pennsylvania to talk about affordability. As you mentioned, the president has blamed Democrats for this, saying that they've created this crisis and that it's a hoax. But he has also acknowledged that affordability is an issue. It's a dueling problem that this administration is trying to deal with right now. He said they are not done yet bringing down prices for Americans. And we also saw that with the visit recently here of New York City's Mayor-elect Mamdani, the president speaking extensively with him about affordability issues in particular. So that, I think, really stuck out to me as the leading issue that this White House is trying to grapple with. As you mentioned, we have that polling that's out today that says that just 36% of Americans approve of the way the president is handling the economy. They certainly want to bring that number up in the new year. Jeff?
Lisa, we heard the president there speaking on a number of issues I know you've been covering intimately, also referencing that one big, beautiful bill, seeming to sort of mention to people, change is coming, things will get better. What did you take away?
I know this is a moment when he's not the only Republican who's trying to tout accomplishments in this last year, but we know from our polling, again, that message isn't getting through. The issue is prices. We see that as the #1 issue for all across the spectrum, including with his base. Maybe that's why he spoke to it so much. But getting some initial reaction from Democrats, they believe that this is a reaction to those polls. One said, this is how you know the polls are freaking Trump out. His pace was quick for President Trump. Usually at the State of the Union, for example, he speaks more slowly, 75 words per minute. I have him at more 140, 150 words per minute, which is not unusual for a speaker, but it is quick for him. He was pushing through this speech, hitting a lot of points, but we'll have to remain to be seen what people take away from it.
And Nick Schifrin, we heard the president announce what he called a warrior dividend, $1,776.
This is so funny. You got a bunch of people that literally get in a room. We're going to analyze this, and they literally analyze nothing. They don't even talk about the content. Like, words per minute.
White House officials haven't responded to my comments or my questions yet. But as you said, 1.4 million service members. He said warrior dividend, $1,000, $1,776. That's $2.5 billion in total. We don't know how he will pay for that.
All right. Well, fuck. That was even more disappointing than what I thought it was going to be. So, the plaques, Boston Iced Tea Party. Let's go. Let's transition into this. So, after just, essentially having the President of the United States, the all-great, almighty leader of the USA, the master of tariffs and carnage to the working class, we could talk about the Boston Tea Party. Because what happened? They fucking made the bourgeois pay, by dumping their tea, because them bourgeois, they can't live without that shit. And, taxation without representation. It's what's going on now. That's happening now. I've been about this for a long time, this whole idea that we are still living under taxation without representation, because the government officials that are being elected that get the power are inherently elected because they have money or have huge amounts of money behind them. So it's always the money and the capitalism that is choosing the policies instead of policies designed to be implemented for people of normal class. The classism is out of control in politics, actually. You know, the farmer from a small town has about 0 chances of ever becoming a politician, which is kind of fucked up. But we'll go with the ICE party. And I'm done with Trump for now. I can't stand him. Look, they're throwing the ice. Polished ice. I'd say this is a great transition. Since all he did was talk about how horrible the contributors of our country are. The people that built this country, immigrants. Immigrants were the ones that were here originally that did the Boston Tea Party 250 years ago. They were all immigrants too. Everybody that came here. The only people here aren't immigrants are Native Americans, and this is their land anyways. And it's interesting. But, yeah. I think people are sick of it. They're sick of the martial law in the streets, the military in the streets. They're just absolutely tired of the divisive politics, the rhetoric. I mean, I've even just got to the point where rhetoric against transgender people. You know, men in sports and transgender for everyone. What does he even mean by transgender for everyone? I guess, how is that a slogan? You know what? If you need to transition in your life and you feel like you have to do that, do it. Fuck them. How is it a thing? Okay, under the Constitution, we have the right to pursue happiness. And then some people's happiness means they need to have a different gender, expression in their lives, depending on whatever it is. And then they try to demonize it like it's some horrible threat to the government, to the United States, one of the smallest underrepresented populations in the United States. If they demonize all the small groups of people because they don't have to worry about them as much, and that gives the big, large group of people with very limited neuroplasticity that wears the red hats something to be mad at. So when they're collectively angry at something, they can get a movement going. It's basic politics and basic fucking psychology. I love it. Zoran. Let's talk to Zoran about trans people.
On starting your transition.
Thank you very much.
What would you like to say to trans kids out there who might be starting their transition?
Well, while these may be different transitions, we're going to make this a city that doesn't just protect trans kids, but also celebrates and cherishes them.
And we are wishing everyone who wants to transition a smooth enough and exciting transition to be just like Zoran. I guess. I don't know.
They want transgender for everybody transgender.
Transgender
Zoran,
for everyone.
congratulations on starting your transition.
Thank you very much.
What would you like to...
And he started his transition. I figured. I knew that was coming. I fully support Zoran's transition. If he needs any tips or advice on hormones, a good surgeon, I got him covered. And come right on down to Miami. We'll get him all fixed up. Cool. Well, I mean, I think it makes sense that New York City should be a beacon of hope in the world. We talk about beacon of hope all the time when our nationalist empirical ideas that we go and we take over a small country in the Middle East and we establish a democracy. It's a beacon of hope for the oppressed, blah, 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 blah. But the United States, New York City in the United States has always been a beacon of hope for lots of immigrants from all over the world that have came there to pursue better lives in a country that has a lot to offer, which is us. People came here with hardly anything and made a life for themselves. Well, transgender folks are no different. They're just trying to make a life for themselves, trying to be happy. We don't give a fuck. We just want to be left alone. And we have an administration in the government and in multiple state regimes, including right here in Central Florida with Ron DeSantis and all of his cronies have been under hard attack on the transgender community, on erasing any symbolism that has to do with our community, removing rainbows from crosswalks, desecrating memorials to horrible tragedies, especially here in Orlando, where we've lost many, many wonderful people in a horrible hate crime at the Pulse shooting. You know, we have all these people that do these horrible things in the government. They use it as a way to get people behind them because if they hate on gays and queers enough, they get the church vote, you know? The evangelical vote, which is crazy that you could even subscribe to Christianity and call yourself a Christian and talk about Jesus and hate a group of people. But to hear Zoran talk about that and say it out loud, there's hope for the future. Hope for the future of transgender people in America, that we can be equals and have egalitarianism. Live in a world where if you're trans, you get treated with dignity and respect. You get the education you deserve. You get the help that you need to be the person that you need to be, no matter what time in life you decide to do it. Sometimes it takes people a lifetime, and it's a journey to get there, and it's okay. So it was really good. I commend him. I hope he sticks to his commitment to the transgender community in New York City. I think New York City really is going to be one of the greatest cities on the planet now that we have an amazing leader like Zoran Mamdani in place, implementing policies designed to facilitate all the people, including the working class, people who can't afford rent, people who can't afford electricity, and also transgender Americans. So the next thing I would implore him to legalize sex work, decriminalize prostitution. That's the next step. If you want to make equality for transgender people in New York City, you have to legalize prostitution, and also for women, because sometimes the only leveling of the playing field that someone has is if they have their physical assets that they can bring to bear. So I would say if he could do that, decriminalize prostitution. Also, underneath the umbrella of that, lots of work, right? Lots of work. It ain't just one thing. It's a lot of stuff. Decriminalize the prostitution and support a community of transgender people, and have plenty of clinics and healthcare available for transgender people. He could really, really make a difference for trans people, the trans community. The history of transgender people in Greenwich Village, you know, and everywhere else, he could help preserve a major part of our history and furthermore facilitate a utopian society in New York City for transgender people to live, work, and play in. So I'm down. And I think it's great that he takes a moment to take some of his very important time from his busy schedule to have this, to do this message for us, for the trans kids. The trans kids deserve to be protected. Protect the dolls, you know? Okay? So, good stuff. Love him. My favorite. I hope he runs for president. Candace Owens. Fuck. Here we go.
E-Day in Nashville. ERIKA and I sat down. Here's what happened. The next episode of Candace Owens.
4.5 hours later, I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm totally fine, and I'm sorry. I was going to do a show for you guys this evening, but I am truly exhausted. Very productive conversation. I asked every single question. I mean, from Egyptian planes to Turning Point USA Faith, and I was very surprised by some of the answers that I got, and I think they were also very surprised when I shared certain intel.
I'm willing to bet, yeah, Themasius, you're right. I already said this yesterday, but there's going to be people that think she's compromised now, which is why it's my opportunity, our opportunity to strike. Clandestine operators, we will be the one true Highlander, the one true racism final boss, the real Highlander. This is our opportunity to shine, folks. Closed door, non-recorded, one-on-one conversation with the group that you heavily leaned into potentially having a hand in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. All of a sudden, let's see how she will navigate the discourse. Candace Owens' short video after her meeting with ERIKA KIRK has been viewed over 22 million times on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Her heavily radicalized audience is very concerned that during the meeting she was threatened, blackmailed, or bribed into silence. To be clear, her audience is radicalized mainly against Jews and Israel. Candace caved everyone back to reality. I don't know, man. It's not passing the vibe check. It's a wrap. We just lost her too. They got you. They got to you, didn't they? Now, Candace, because she has no real, in my opinion, has no real convictions at all, we'll look at this back and forth. We'll look at the statements coming from her audience. This is a real breaking point, okay? This is the grand finale. The grand finale. The reason why I say this is because, like, Charlie Kirk gets assassinated. Candace Owens slowly but surely starts leaning into, like, Israel killed Charlie Kirk, all this stuff. Charlie Kirk was on the way to just say fuck Israel. Charlie Kirk was potentially going to become Catholic, all this shit, right? And people who were looking for answers, who already didn't really fuck with Israel, were very excited that someone was saying Israel did this. Now, having said that, as time went along and she kept leaning into different versions of these conspiracies, some of which are super far-fetched and some of which are ridiculous and others that were misunderstandings, her popularity grew. The animosity towards Candace grew as well on the right because they were frustrated that she was literally popping off like she's grifting on Charlie Kirk's legacy more than we could, and they were very mad. Most of the animosity stemmed from the fact that these guys are all a bunch of charlatan grifters, and they were very offended and upset that Candace was basically using this as an opportunity to boost her profile. And initially she had said that she wasn't going to go after ERIKA KIRK. Obviously, she was actually very supportive of ERIKA KIRK in the beginning, talking about how, you know, this is a widow, you know, we should stay off her and she's doing the greatest thing, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But then this past week, she was directly hitting ERIKA KIRK as well. Turning Point USA was supposed to actually do a town hall. They invited Candace to the town hall. She said no, she can't make it to the town hall. And that town hall was supposed to take place yesterday. ERIKA KIRK, after doing a town hall with Barry Weiss on CBS News, turned around and said, instead of doing a Turning Point USA town hall about the conspiracy surrounding Charlie Kirk's death, I will have a private conversation with Candace Owens. She basically cut out the middleman, because this was supposed to address a lot of Candace's audience. But instead of doing that, ERIKA KIRK decided, I'm just going to talk to Candace Owens directly, and a private meeting took place yesterday. We shall see what the impact of that private meeting looked like, because I think a lot of our audience that is primed for maximum conspiracy are probably going to turn on Candace Owens. And Candace Owens, being a grifter, is either going to lean into the conspiracies and start daggering ERIKA KIRK instantly after this private meeting, or she's going to lay off. If she lays off, I think some in our audience will go along with it. Others will seek out someone else that will deliver the maximalist positions. So we shall see. But I'm excited for the drama, and it's happening. Oh my God, it's happening. Holy this is Wine Mom Super Bowl. This is my Super Bowl. Call me a Wine Mom.
That's what I
This is
said.
my Super
I
Bowl
wanted,
too.
like, this is like
Okay,
a
everybody,
fucking event.
Shabbat Shalom. I just want to say Shabbat Shalom to everybody back at home. Happy Hanukkah to our greatest friends and
Shabbat
allies.
Shalom?
And this is a good time to mention that Israel does have a right to defend itself. Tucker Carlson is Adolf Hitler. And TikTok does need to be purchased by the Mossad. It's just how I'm feeling today. I am not different. Maybe you are different. Welcome back to Candace.
What? I want to hit off that
Oh my.
I got a gesture
Okay, you guys
for
are
her.
crazy. You guys are absolutely crazy. The amount of people who attacked me for sending out
it's
tweet,
a
like,
little
hey,
bit
good,
something like
I'm
where I
glad.
put my
Very
hand
productive
by my
conversation.
mouth.
They were like, she got the call. She got the call. She's
Yeah, I know
betrayed
she's
us.
joking.
She's doing something
I'm
else.
just
I can't
shocked
believe
at
it. This is
how
all just been a show.
aggressively
Calm
she is
down,
joking.
Okay? What do you think happened? ERIKA
I mean,
said
the joke
stop,
is that, like,
and then I was
it's
frozen.
the Jews. The joke is
for 4 hours and 30 minutes, just like as they just put all of these talking points into my head. That is not what happened. I keep telling you guys, I am not governable.
crazy. This is the
I am basically akin to Kanye West. I never felt more seen than when he tweeted a lot of years ago, just fired my manager because I realized I can't be managed. That is me. That tweet right there, I was like, oh gosh, yes, Kanye, that I get this.
Jesus Christ.
Nobody is changing their mind anything. I will be honest, I did not know what to expect going into the room. I did not know if they were going to be open. I didn't know what ERIKA's energy was going to be like, if it was going to be more of an argument, if there was going to be legal threats. You guys were telling me not to drink water, so I didn't drink water. Well, I brought my own water, but I didn't drink that water too. It was a lot. There's a lot going on, okay? And the conversation started with Justin Strife.
I don't know either.
Very sensibly saying, what are we looking to accomplish here? Like, what is the actual aim of this conversation? And he was pretty clear, and ERIKA was very clear, that they were sort of most upset with what I, obviously a bit of a fever pitch, when I tweeted that it was a God-forsaken company and people should not give money to it. And I have to own that. That's aggressive. That is actually aggressive in the retrospect. I was very frustrated.
That's probably good advice.
And I don't know, I felt like we weren't getting any answers, and there were so many lies, and then I was getting attacked for asking all meaningful questions that was within their capacity to answer. And I told you, I definitely, my problem in life is that I can rise to anger very quickly.
She compromised. And her audience is not going to like it. She's caving.
I really
Will
felt
she be able to save
like
this walk
for telling
back?
the truth from the very beginning. Like,
she's
casually, when I
compromised,
mentioned
everybody.
Catholicism thing. Like, what was that about? I was like, look, I say something in a tribute to him. Alex Clark and Andrew Colvett then jump onto a podcast, and they're doing that weird interview, which is clearly aimed at me. And they've teased the interview as like aimed at me, but they never say my name. And that to me felt like it was the first, I don't know, the first bit of mud that was slung. Which their answer for that was, hey, that was a really crazy time.
Bro, I'm telling you, they're going to think there is a little bit of sincerity in their commentary here when they say it's all about the money. It's true. ERIKA KIRK only cares about the funding for Turning Point USA, and Candace Owens only cares about the drama. So I can totally see them coming to a reasonable
That's exactly
conclusion here
what
where
I'm
she's like,
getting
you can
out of
keep
it.
daggering us all day, just don't disrupt the money.
That one of the first things that ERIKA did was she owned the lies, or rather, I guess they would cage it as miscommunications that were coming from various people at the company. Like, look, this is a company with 650 people that are employed. everybody at this time is exceedingly emotional, and they are communicating, and no matter what somebody says on Twitter, they assume that this communication has come down from management, and that's not always a circumstance. But they owned right away, which felt great, that if you guys recall, ERIKA sat down with Glenn Beck. I actually missed this portion because I didn't get to watch the interview in its entirety, and we were pulling clips because a lot was coming out very quickly. But there was a portion that was going around that was viral, and it was ERIKA saying that she had Charlie's phone. And
Chat's saying she's compromised. I'm saying she's compromised. She's compromised. She's compromised. She's compromised.
She's compromised, everybody. She sucked the big one. She sucked the big, huge fucking dick
I still don't
of
understand.
Turning Point USA. She sucked the big Turning Point USA cock. It was huge. Down her throat. Gagging. Huh.
Stand it, and the magic bullet. Okay. Now, we all recall what happened. I casually say on the show, hey, I saw the footage. There was no blood. And honestly, when I said it, I didn't process how big of a deal that was with the 30-06. Very quickly, what happens is Andrew Colvett whips up this tweet about what happened with the bullet, and he said he wanted to address all of the discussion that was being had about the online chatter. I'm obviously paraphrasing
I'm shocked that it's
here.
only staying at 265.
He says, I apologize.
I
It's going
thought
to
it
get
would have gone up to
graphic, but
500K.
He spoke with the surgeon. The bullet should have gone through. The surgeon then explained that what he's typically seen on these wounds, and basically this was all a miracle. Charlie saved lives, even in death. And the internet clocked it, this miracle, the healthy bone. His bone was so healthy.
I thought it was a
so
Mauser.
impressed. Like, this is a quote, by the way. His bone was so healthy. I want to read it. This is allegedly from the surgeon. Quote, his bone was so healthy, and the density was so impressive that he's like the man of steel. It should have gone through and through. It likely would have killed those standing behind him, too. And we were just like, that
Man, he's a hero in death because his bone density was enough to stop a bullet.
Right? I feel like that
I don't know
was
if
kind of
that's
the
what
beginning
happened.
of
I think it was expansion.
And immediately people in the comments responded.
Also, we don't know how old that ammunition
said,
was. If it
I covered this months ago. It was silly.
This individual said, this post is so fake as it would violate HIPAA. Like, there's patient privacy. You can't just
That's
call
your
up the
favorite
surgeon.
guy.
And then Andrew
You're
Collette replies and
anti-Zionist.
says, rest. And so it is at least plausible that they have seen very clear footage that we've been asking
this sucks
for.
because this is
of
literally
Tyler
just
Robinson
her
getting shot.
defending
Like,
her
they have
initial
access
conspiracies
to
without
UV
telling
cameras. So I was
people
hoping
anything that came out of this meeting. Like,
Turn
oh,
Point
I just
USA
told
that
them what
Tyler
my
Robinson
conspiracies were, and
died.
they agreed with me.
And at this
Like, it's
point, they
bullshit.
elected
They're
to
not gonna fucking
call
believe that.
the lawyer.
You were already presenting a
Their
narrative that like they
lawyer,
might have a
especially for
hand in
something like
fucking
this.
killing
And
Charlie Kirk, and
what I
now
got from
you have
the
a
lawyer
private conversation behind closed
did not
doors
make
with
me feel
Erika
that Tyler
Kirk,
Robinson
and
shot
all of a
Charlie Kirk.
sudden
Does not make me
you
feel
told them what your
confident that
actual
Charlie- that he
conspiracies
didn't or
were,
did shoot,
or what your
Charlie
actual
Kirk.
theories
I was
were,
very surprised
and
by
then
this. He
they
spoke
turned
for a very
around and
long
they said,
time.
"Oh
I
yeah,
asked,
this seems
can you
great."
share what he explained to me was that that's the affidavit stage. That's where it's at. And then what takes place now is the investigation is ongoing, right? So right now they're looking for more information, and once investigators, they could very well have obviously footage, and that is why they might feel that, oh, we're definitely gonna get this prosecution. But the reality is they don't actually share that information with the victim. They don't share that information with ERIKA. They don't, in this part of the process, they will not know what investigators have discovered. This is what the lawyer told me until May. Okay, they have not seen anything that you have not seen, is what I want you to know. So with that in mind, I'm sitting here going, why are you signaling, why do I feel like the public's being gaslit on this? There's been nothing that's convincing. There are so many commentators who have gone out and said to you, it's overwhelming. The evidence is overwhelming. The text messages that don't have a date, that don't even sound real, that's overwhelming. That to me feels really fake and gay. I really do want to say that to every commentator that is out there trying to tell the public
sounds
and
gay now,
times
she
to become
says.
real. You're actually just being dishonest. And
feels
I
like
offer
gay
that
bad or
honest
something
way to
in their
communicate.
world? Like,
We
it
say,
sounds
we think
gay.
he's involved. We
What
feel strongly. I've said that. I think he's involved. We are very
Why
hopeful
would
that
you
throughout this
believe
investigation, we are going to get that
whatever
concrete
they
thing.
said?
And that's where we're at right now. That's just the stage that we are at. That is not what we are getting from them.
Bitch,
That
you talk
is
too
like
much.
I just feel like that's really important.
Who
to
the
let you guys
fuck
know
puts the
what the
big
gaslighting stop.
fucking
They have what you have.
pop
Okay,
protector
there is
on
nothing
the
else. They are in
fucking
an investigative
SM7
stage. ERIKA has been named as the victim. They will
Only
know
her,
more
so it looks like he's
in
got a
this May
bigger
hearing,
dick
which
in
is
front
the
of her
probable
face.
cause hearing.
Fuck, just get it over with. Why they were valid at the time? We gotta
Now,
fucking sum it up.
Another really big thing that happened.
Wrap it
was
up, Candace. Wrap it up.
They brought me Mikey's call logs.
Wrap it up,
They brought me
Candace.
Mikey's call logs, and that is why I said this was a productive meeting. There is no other way to say it. I asked every question.
It was a definite
and they
productive
came
meeting
with
for her bottom
paperwork
line.
to show and to answer and to explain certain things.
They probably cut her in.
which was I thought actually kind of sweet. That I guess I did on the previous show. I was like kind of looking at things into Mikey, and I couldn't find him. And someone said, I think.
The
Mikey's
major
not his,
thing that
like,
people
real
are not
name,
getting
like,
out of
I-
this
they
is
thought
what
it was his middle
they
name,
said,
actually.
what
He
Turning
was his
Point
middle name,
USA
like,
said.
find
Notice
him.
how Candace is only
Mikey
talking
really
about
wants you guys
her
to know that this is
position
his
and
real
what
name. And
she
this is
said
when
to
I found
them
out, too,
and
that they
refusing
were,
to mention what they
confusing
said
his
back to
real
her.
name.
That's why
Switched.
people are tuning in. She's
Michael
not
is his real
giving
name.
them
Just
that.
clarify that.
She's not
Because I
giving
realized
us
actually
that.
go back
I
and
want to
clarify
know.
that.
I think Will Somers' assessment is wrong. I think there is. I can totally see a conversation that took place between Turning Point USA and Candace Owens where they said, you know, you can keep farming, just don't go too hard. Just don't touch the money, okay? That's what I think is going on here, where she's like, within the confines of reason, allowed to criticize Turning Point USA or invite suspicion to the official narratives without, like, attacking Turning Point USA's bag.
Lips quivering, and he's like, I gotta call ERIKA. And he's like, and then I called my mom. That's not right. That's just not right, okay? Mikey called ERIKA after Blake Neff ended that phone call with his mother. If call logs are to be believed above, you know, human testimony. I did not get this from everybody speaking about this Mikey McCoy call log. I know that you guys did not get this.
Dude, how does
I did
anybody
not get
stand to
this. I
listen
don't
to this
know
bitch for
why
so
she was
long?
disappeared from
Like,
this.
I've been listening to her
could
for a
go,
few
looking at
minutes
the White
now, and I
House
feel like I
privacy.
wanna fall
She was
asleep.
like, you know, main stage.
You gotta be some
at the
boring,
Memorial,
dried up
has been,
fucking
you know, I would say
housewife
very
sitting here
involved
listening to this bitch all day
in a
long.
lot of
Look at what she got.
this kind of
Fucking
you know, like I think it's very close that she's close with ERIKA.
Millions
they
and
were
millions of
unleashed together, so
followers
I don't get this
of
disappearing act. I found that to be like okay,
conservative
but
right?
they were forthcoming with it. That feels good. That
Conservative
feels
boredom
good, guys.
followers.
Like,
Feels
wow,
good.
we don't have to guess.
Well,
now we
why
have
are you
solid
not
answers.
being
We're so
forthcoming?
Like I said,
bored.
when
Oh my
you
gosh,
come
I
out
identify
and
with you
give
so
solid
much.
answers, and you're
You're
not
so
weird
cool.
and calling
I'm
people
boring
names
too.
and saying
You're
all
I don't
this
think
stuff
people are
and
going to
allows
like that
people to
she's
go.
in
okay,
any way, shape, or form agreement with Turning Point USA.
I feel a bit more.
She got
like
her
we can
ass
trust this
buttered by
process because we have
Eric Kirk
communication.
Farm.
That's the reality.
And they're fucking.
And so I
their
just
little
This is
I
her
wanted
own
to
doing, by
Turning
the way.
Point USA
because
camp.
that's
She
also
actively shit on
another
Erica
Exploitation
Kirk
of
and
the
primed
youth
her
of
audience
America
into
and
also
corn
hating
country
Erica
where
Kirk.
I think
they don't
so.
have even an
Tying Erica
opportunity
Kirk
to
into the
deliberate
conspiracy
anything
a
because
little
they're
bit.
fed
Now
one
when she
narrative
does a
and
fucking
one
full flip on
indoctrination
Erica
of
and
pure
comes across
white
like she's in agreement with Erica, they're gonna be
evangelical
like,
Christian
"What the fuck are you doing?"
nationalism.
Last week you told us
how
she
many
ain't
and
shit.
nobody's dissent from, and if you do, you're going to be exiled like your Amish.
Likable person who did the whole Barry Weiss town hall right after everybody saw Erica Kirk on camera, and we're like, what the fuck is wrong with her? She goes on and has this private correspondence behind closed doors and is now talking about how she's in agreement with Erica Kirk. Okay.
Like, of course, I was locked in.
They're in agreement
this
now
meeting
because,
when
you
people
know,
odd lie were another round
butter
of
the palm.
debunking
Money.
the
Where's
Egyptian
Elon
claims.
Ma?
I want to be very clear. When we shared that spreadsheet,
Where's
you'll
Elon
see
Ma?
that
Money.
one of the columns, which was actually saying
Money.
where the planes landed on that day, because it was plus or minus 3 days, was exactly where ERIKA had been on that day, and that was inaccurate. And so for clarity, I had been working on the last week on turning it into an interactive timeline that we can put up on our website, because I'm certain that these Egyptian planes are incredibly shady, and that they were in fact tracking Turning Point USA faith, broader events. Of course, ERIKA was at some of them, Charlie was at some of them.
What did ERIKA say
but it
to
is
that?
the pattern here is undeniable. So let the naysayers and people make
It's an
videos
undeniable
trying to,
pattern.
what do we, fifth round debunk these planes.
Nobody's
I
seen a
also wanna
pattern
say
like
to
this
you
before.
that I feel very confident that I know why these planes have caused such panic, and it is because there is overwhelming evidence that these planes regularly fly in and out of Israel. And I'm going to present that evidence tomorrow. I say that strongly. This is I feel very confident saying these Egyptian planes are flying in and out. And notice I'm saying planes because once I was was able to connect
Here we
people that
go.
were on those planes onto other Egyptian planes.
This
I
is
was
here we
able
go.
To
Here we
realize
go.
that these planes are flying in and out of Israel. and turning their transponder off each time that they do it.
No shit.
That
It's
is
an Egyptian plane.
now makes
Okay,
perfect
whatever.
sense of why there was this mass
What did they
panic.
say, though?
Right? It's not exactly like we have a strong
What did Turning
Egyptian
Point
lobby.
USA say to that, though?
Now we're like, whoa,
This
well,
is
those
like the
darn
Epstein
Egyptians
files.
are trying to get TikTok censored. I mean, every person in the game, Barry, acting. Well, these are the usual suspects that act if something is a threat to Israel, okay? Which is, they should have just been forthcoming, pretended that it was changing apart. Instead, they're trying to gaslight us, and they're actually, frankly, just pissing me off. So I became locked in on these Egyptian planes, because that's how I am, okay? You keep pushing me and keep pushing me.
She's
I'll
locked
become
in
an
on the
expert these
planes.
I'll learn how to build an Egyptian plane.
The planes,
The
everybody.
reality is, like I said, tomorrow I will show you how these planes tie back
Oh god,
to Israel.
she's just fucking
And
promoting
there's
her
no,
next.
there's
she's
no
just
disproving this.
promoting the
So,
next day's content,
more
dude.
on that later. We'll be right back after.
We're not going to talk about what happened in the meeting.
Our sponsors.
Oh
What happened to me? A briefcase came out and she sat it on the table.
Boo. I don't want to hear about no preborn.
And it had
I
a
want to hear
check in
about
it.
ERIKA KIRK. Does she have a preborn? I want to know what ERIKA KIRK said. She gave us nothing. This was literally what? How
Literally
long was
nothing.
This was.
She talked about a
36
conspiracy.
minutes of nothing. She came in hot. She said she was gonna reveal the details of this private correspondence, already shady as fuck,
And
already
nothing.
shady that it was private. And now after priming everybody into this notion that you are the truth teller, you are gonna fucking find out the truth, that you're gonna actually take it to the boss man. The boss man did the boss call, and all of a sudden you're
Get
like,
in
well,
here.
you know, there was a lot of room for agreement. There was a lot of room for agreement. You're just mad she didn't read your chat? No, I'm mad because I wanted answers, okay? As a clandestine operator, I'm mad because I didn't get answers at all. Now, what I was looking for, if we're gonna be serious for a second, what I was looking for here is like, is she gonna continue really fucking leaning into the bag, leaning into the grift, or is she gonna come to a conciliatory solution that kind of lays the suspicion off of ERIKA KIRK and specifically Turning Point USA a little bit? And I personally think this is the most conciliatory tone she could have taken with Turning Point USA and ERIKA KIRK without literally having her entire audience call her an op for Israel, right? I suspect this was the conversation that took place. I think she was like, listen, I'm obviously not gonna, I'm not gonna call off everything. I can't call off everything. My audience will yell at me if I do that. That'll invite too much suspicion. But we packed this up with like a Candace Owens appearance 6 months down the line,
What the fuck
and
are you
I will
wearing today?
manage this discourse to the best of my ability.
I always
I'll
fuck with
still
this
continue
guy.
asking certain
We have a
questions,
big laugh
but I
around.
won't do anything that actually
We do late
compromises
breakfast
the
around here. We're
investigation.
night
I won't do
owls.
anything
We
that
work
actually
late.
compromises Turning Point USA's
But
funding
Emily
structure.
will get me
and then
breakfast.
it'll
We'll
be
sit
a
down
big
and watch
grand
Hassan every
finale.
day. We watch
when 6 months down the
Hassan
line,
Piker.
I'll
We
do a
watch you
Turning Point
every
USA
damn
announcement.
day.
Like, I'll do
Every
a
day.
Turning
The
Point
first thing I
USA
do
conference or
when I wake
something,
up in the
and
morning is I
everyone will
turn
come and
Hassan
we'll
on
join
because
hands and we'll
he's
all
my
drift
go-to
together.
of what
If she was a
what
real
kind of
drifter, on the other
crazy
hand, or
shit is
rather,
going
she was
on in the
more
world now.
even if she was invested in
And,
like
you know,
continuously
I start my
farming,
day out
she would
every
come
day I
out
say
of
the
this
same
meeting
thing.
being
Like,
like, I
what
didn't believe a
the
single damn
fuck
thing they
are
told me.
you
Why would I
wearing?
believe it? They're compromised by
What is
Israel,
this
blah, blah, blah.
shit?
I fully agree.
And to make up
that
your mind about your
these
facial hair
attacks,
while
which
you're at
have
it.
grown
Whatever you
hysterical,
do,
like,
though,
I can't even
don't
begin
ever
to tell
just have a
you
mustache
the
again.
conversations
Ever.
between me
Never
and
do
my
that
person. I'm
ever
like, just,
again.
There's nothing to respond
Never
to.
a
There's
mustache.
not even one sentence of
Because
this that is true.
damn, dude, I thought we were
Case
like.
in point, by the way.
I mean, I felt like
New York Post
1986
does this
was
article
happening again.
today. It was. We were actually laughing. Okay, like inside Candace Owens's sadistic and dangerous world.
You kind of look. You know what's
monetizing
funny is he's
baseless
a
conspiracy.
socialist.
This is after,
Slash,
by the way, they
you know,
changed my husband's
communist
Wikipedia
Marxists.
and said that he was a Qatari, like he had a Qatari passport or citizenship.
But he dresses
I
a
don't
little
think
bit
that
like
has
the
ever even
511
flown over
Club.
Qatar. I could be wrong. but I
He
don't
could
think
fit
he's- I know
right
he's
in
never
at the
been to Qatar.
Republican
I don't
National
think he's ever
Convention.
flown
They didn't
over
know he
Qatar.
was.
And
He
they're
just
making it
walk
up,
in
and
wearing
then they
that
make it
shit, and
trend,
they'd
no
be
matter
like,
what it is.
"Yeah,
And I'm
come on
like,
in,
this
brother."
is happening. It's like a psychological operation.
Maybe
They're
he should
trying
like
to keep
mix
us
it up a notch. We need a
constantly
little
responding
edgier,
as
more
opposed to focusing on our
revolutionary look
investigation,
from
which is
you.
why I spent this
I
weekend.
think, and this
and I just
Christmas
kept
shit
down on the
in
Egyptian
the
planes
background, dude, is
because
out of
it's
fucking
completely
control.
crazy. And when you see a media story like this,
It's
it can
out
only
of
be happening
control.
because
That's
Zionists
fucked
are
up capitalism.
locking arms and going attack,
Capitalistic
because they are by and large
Christianity
control
right
the media.
there.
They just
Boom,
do.
right in the
Okay?
face.
One way or the
Holy
other,
shit.
Zionists control the empire media.
got to
and
'em.
they are scary. scared
He's
about something in this
compromised.
investigation. We've noticed that from the very beginning.
He got compromised
So
by the clandestine operator.
The
wrote in this article,
clandestine
in New York Post, just to
operator
give you an example of how insane this is.
fucking
we have
got to
pushing
him.
on the Huachuca Air Base, which we are
The
doing,
Trump
and
lobby
tomorrow
came in
we're
and
gonna
dropped
go
the
back into
Christmas
investigation.
tree
We're just
off.
going to ignore the noise because,
It's like,
as
you're
I've
gonna
said,
put
and
this
as I
up.
have maintained, I believe that Charlie was betrayed by people that are close to him. And I asked that
Is
question.
she
in the
still
meeting.
on
I'm like,
this?
okay, if we can agree that
I can't
everyone
believe
around
she's still
you
on
knows
this
there's
shit.
much
Like,
more
how
about
long
the
do you,
people,
she
right?
must
And
be
it's
getting a lot of
reasonable
views
that
off of this
people,
shit, and she just
if
keeps
they
going
have
on and on and
addictions,
on
that they- you know,
about her
you
conspiracy
can
theory about how
definitively get yourself in
Israel
a scenario
executed
where
She's
you
not
are
really
going to
chat.
somebody
It's
out.
100%
It is a
pre-recorded.
massive organization.
Like,
How
you
can
know
so
what?
fucking
Here's
do
my
this?
take on it.
Exactly
It wouldn't have
to do
been,
with,
I mean,
anything.
anybody with a decent amount of
And I
skills
think
with a
that
rifle that
one of the things
grew
that
up hunting
ERIKA was like,
deer
well, about like a
could have
feminist,
probably
and
pulled it
I
off.
didn't want the vibe of that.
she's,
which
And
I
if
didn't.
the
she knows
old
she has
ass
more people
rifle
in
that
here
was
because
used,
they're
that's
all
really interesting because
confused or all
that's
interested
right
in what
in
took
on
place.
par
And she's,
with
instead of telling you answers,
what
telling us
happened
answers,
to
she's basically using this as an
John F.
opportunity
Kennedy
to promote
with
her
the
next show.
very
That's precisely the reason why
kind
the
of
first 30
off the
minutes is
beaten
like the
path,
meat of it, usually. Now that I've
imported
watched a couple of
rifle
these,
that they use. I think
and then
wasn't
the
that
rest of the 30 minutes is just add, couple super chats, add promotion of next show, add super chat, add. See, first you talked about how you made us. First you talked about how you made some misrepresentations
I know it's
about
something
Turning Point
like that.
USA, and now we're going to talk about how people talk about you. Oh my God, this is about Charlie's murder. Hello,
7mm or something or other.
But like people don't like Tim Pool because they see him as like a,
I think it's interesting.
servant of Israel in this community. So this will harden the base a little bit. This will distract them enough with some red meat.
Good
The
optic,
absence of total disclosure, the total
solid
lack of
built
faith that
fucking
anybody has, not
weapon
just in the
on a
FBI
good
per se, but
platform.
in
They're
any
made to be
state
shoot
law
straight.
enforcement. Nobody has
It's
nobody
fucking
has
filler,
any
dude.
faith in our
There's a lot of
institutions
weird
anymore, and
shit
it
around
leads
it,
you
too.
to go
Almost an
from,
hour,
you know,
Candace.
healthy
Are you gonna
skepticism
wrap
to
this
just
up?
not believing it to concocting the most outlandish.
Well, that's what I'm
conspiracy
asking
theories
about
imaginable.
you, dude.
But then those text
Are we gonna
messages, you
wrap
cannot
this
understand
up?
how they will cause
Are we gonna
people to
keep
come to those
talking
types of
about her?
conclusions. And,
I think you like the views
allegedly
too.
the rumors are.
I don't know. Maybe her audience is like dumb enough to demand conspiracy theories, but also so dumb that they don't even invite any scrutiny to Candace Owens after she turns around and gives them nothing.
Just to say this, very happy that we are on.
I would
much better
definitely
feet and that we have
scrutinize her for
opened the
giving
lines of
nothing.
communication.
That was a
I
big,
do
fat nothing
genuinely
burger.
think that Justin Strife did
All
a great
day.
job reffing that conversation.
What was that shit?
yesterday,
That's like
and
bait
I
and
also
switch
do want to shout
timeshare
out Megyn
sales
Kelly
type
because
shit.
this was what we were trying to make this happen in the
Boo.
background. Really since Blake
It's like,
Neff
here,
fumbled
have
the
this
first
awesome
invite,
vacation.
and
Well,
thank
wait
you.
a
That's in
minute,
large
we
part because of
can't
you guys
book
at home
it
that
for
were
you
looking at
ever.
that, and I think
Candace
that we
Owens,
got
I know,
enough
but
flack that they were like, okay, we got to fix this.
She was able to.
But I want
She was able to present authenticity by shitting on Israel. Remember. And
Oh, yeah, I
specifically
forgot.
Also, not just shitting on Israel, but also tying it all back to Jews as a Jewish conspiracy. These are the types of things that the audiences actually find to be authentic and uncompromising. Another way that she was able to beef up her authenticity was by daggering Turning Point USA, saying Turning Point USA was farming Charlie Kirk's image, and that she was like a true friend to Charlie. Now that she had a private closed-door meeting with Turning Point USA, her message has changed a little bit, where she's like going back to some of the things, but she's not giving us anything about like what
And I
Turning
don't feel
Point
any
USA
differently
said.
about the people
I don't
that I
think that
mentioned
people
on the
will
show
consider
that I
her to
think
be
are
like
shady
super
at Turning Point
authentic.
USA. And with time, we'll see whether.
I don't know. I mean,
that
I think that she's kind of full of shit, and the fact that she has such a huge following, and she's this boring and monotone, it drives me crazy. But I don't know. I mean, I guess like cute setup, quaint. You and ERIKA, did you guys make out? She got a big tongue. I don't know. What'd she do? Did she eat you out good? Is that why you're like, yeah, I'm cool? I don't know. Oh, fuck them. Fuck them. I don't fucking care about them. I don't give a fuck about either of them. The only thing I was pissed off about is Charlie Kirk running around the countryside telling everybody there's only two genders when he doesn't even understand what gender is. Oh, there we go. Yeah, fuck them. Australia bans social media for kids under 16. Cover that real quick. So, Australia's social media ban is here. Teens are skeptical it will work. We're very skeptical it's not going to work. I guarantee you it won't work. There's this thing called VPNs
They don't know about those.
They don't know about the VPNs. Most people don't know what VPNs are, but we do have VPNs. The other thing is there's also a whole bunch of other shit there. Okay, you guys are never going to gatekeep young people from technology. They're always going to be at least 20 steps ahead of you. The other thing is like, okay, cool. We banned them from social media at a younger age so they're less exposed to it. They assume that's going to increase the self-esteem and mental health and all this stuff. I'm sure all this stuff was cited. I don't know. I haven't looked at it yet. But that ain't what's going to happen. They're going to fucking be pissed off because they're being gate-kept out of something that they want to do that everybody else is going to do. That is literally the world we live in now. And now they're going to be disenfranchised because they're young. It's going to make them deceitful and cynical. And then they're going to figure out ways around it. They're going to do it anyways. And they're going to become more rebellious in the situation. And they're also going to do a whole bunch more shit that they wouldn't normally do if you had social media accessible to them, but it was moderated. You know, moderation. I just think it's stupid. You can't oppress people from stuff and expect it to work. It just don't. We know it don't. It's like, we'll make porn illegal. Sure, good luck with that. You know, we'll do this. It's always, you're just, the government is always trying to protect us from ourselves. It's fucking just stop it, you know? Just stop it. Stop trying to protect us from ourselves. We don't need to be. If you want to do something, make sure we have good wages and make sure we have good education. Make sure we have health care. Make sure that we have, a fucking unbiased education would be nice. One that's based on empirical data and scientific knowledge instead of some fucking narrative that some douchebag like Trump wrote for us all to fucking learn, or some other fucking government somewhere in the world that thinks they know what's best for everybody. I mean, whatever. You know, I mean, the internet's a weird and dangerous place, but you need to learn to navigate it. You don't make people more resilient in life by sheltering them from life. You make them more resilient by exposing them to it and teaching them the right moral code and teaching them to make the right decisions in education. Also, you know, there's a whole bunch of stuff there that has nothing to do with social media. It has everything to do with the parents. And I'm not even going to get into that tonight, but there's so much. This stupid shit. Come on. Anyways, sweeping federal law that aims to bar children under 16 from social media has gone into effect in Australia. It is one of the first attempts at a nationwide regulation. The platform currently affected Facebook, Instagram, KIRK, Reddit, Snapchat, Threads, TikTok, Twitch, X, and YouTube. Other services widely used by young teens such as Discord and Roblox were excluded because Australia's e-safety commissioner deemed them to be primarily for messaging or gaming. Okay.
Roblox is full of pedophiles, by the
Roblox pedophiles. Discord is one of the most seedy places on earth. If you want to get into internet gambling, go on Discord. So how does it make sense to do a partial ban on Facebook, Instagram, KIRK, Reddit, Snapchat? Notice Facebook's first on the list. I used to think Facebook was the good one, but I used to think it was a safer space than some of these other spaces, but it's pretty fucking raunchy. Twitch, X, no X. Can't watch the porn on X now. I don't know. I disagree. I disagree with censorship. I'm a radical non-interventionist. I think if you take kids and you give them a good moral code and you teach them and you educate the fuck out of them about everything and you teach them about consequences of certain things, they make good decisions. They're smart. Maybe not when they're 8 years old. They definitely don't need this shit. But by the time you're getting to be a young teenager, a tween, or whatever, you need to start to expose them to the world that they're going to be in, because otherwise they're not going to be ready for it. And then you throw them out there, and then they have to try to figure it all out on their own. It's crazy. I don't know. It's fucking nuts. In promoting law, Australian officials have highlighted concerns that social media can be a vehicle for online bullying, amplifier of anxiety, and conduit of peer pressure, and a tool for potential predators. Peer pressure. There's that word again. That's the word that everybody's always used in my life growing up. Peer pressure, everybody. Peer pressure is going to make you a homosexual. Peer pressure is going to make you a drug addict. Peer pressure is going to make you fuck your uncle. It's not. That's not why this happens. That uncle fucker, if you're an uncle fucker, it's because your uncle's fucking you. That's the whole point. You know? And fucking drugs? Kids are going to do drugs eventually. It's a rarity that people get through all the way through until they're married and have kids and not experiment with something. The secret here is to teach them what the dangers are of certain things. There's dangers involved. You know, provide safety. But you don't provide safety in anything, including social media, by just banning it. There's no safety in a ban. In a ban is just, okay, we don't do this, right? And then nobody does it, and they go, oh, behind closed doors, I'm for sure going to do this. Kind of like the fucking Republican homosexuals that blow up Grindr every single time they have a fucking convention. Grindr literally crashes because there's all these closeted homosexuals. They can't come out and say they're homosexual because they've been banned from homosexuality by evangelical Christianity. So they're just fucking doing it anyways. Homos. Kind of like Kash Patel can't come out of the closet. Although he should. I don't know. I think it's bullshit. The rollout of the law, kinks and all, will be closely watched by parents.
Why would they phrase it like that?
Very interesting. I noticed a whole bunch of sites they didn't put on the list. There's so many fucking sites. And VPNs. What are you going to do about a VPN? I think what they're saying is you can't join it without the driver's license. This is what they did in Florida with porn. Now in Florida, you can't get on any porn site unless you upload your driver's license. And then they charge you money to do it. Now, fortunately, you know, I don't have that problem for a bunch of reasons, but yeah, that's what they did. VPNs, everybody. VPNs. Anyways. Okay. Well. Makes sense, I guess. Whatever. More censorship, more Big Brother, more fucking, you know, telling everybody what to do with their lives. And that's essentially the reason why this Twitch stream and our eventual podcast and all of our other outlets of this kind of commentary, which is going to be Substack, Instagram. Don't forget about our TikTok. Our TikTok's starting to take off a little bit. I'm appreciative of the folks from TikTok. You know, it's like this broadcast exists to challenge the status quo, and we're liberators of artistic freedom and freedom of human expression. Okay, you know, gender expression should be your choice. What you read is your choice. How you think is your choice. We're big time anti-thought police on this one, on this fucking Twitch. We're also big time anti-censorship. Censorship is the worst thing that we can do in society. We should quit censoring ourselves. You know, some things should be censored, but only in certain spaces. But to tell people they can't read material so we can more deeply understand, to limit education, to limit people to a perspective based on propaganda and a very, you know, limited scope of ideas based around one ideology is literally the downfall of Western civilization. So the progress of Western civilization toward a more functional society is being slowed down by conservative ideologies that oppress thinking, the exchange of ideas, conversations, education about things. These are human things, by the way. You know, we're also worried about shit. And then we talk about predators. Like, we're going to take away the social media from the kids to stop the predators. Why don't we just fucking stop the predators? Oh, I got a better idea. How about full-grown ass men stop abusing young kids? That's kind of on them, isn't it? I think it would be great if they just decided, hey, we're not going to do this anymore, right? So what do they think? I mean, even by getting rid of the social media, you're not getting rid of a problem. Oh, predators. Come on. What is this? Fucking goddamn stupid ass fucking shit. You know, we're going to like fucking not punish the goddamn people that are perpetrating, but we're going to punish the people. We're going to punish the victims further. I don't know. I don't think that it's going to work. But homegrown marijuana bill in Florida, they're going to be legalizing growing marijuana in Florida, but there's a lot of things to talk about that because growing pot, it turns out, is not easy. Big fan of marijuana here on the show. You know, I'm a medical cannabis patient, and I receive quite a large amount of medical marijuana monthly to consume. I buy it locally at dispensaries, which actually give me super high quality products that are just perfectly grown at the highest standards. I don't got to worry about mold. A lot of people aren't going to have enough education or knowledge to do this, but being able to grow at home will be great for the people that do. But it's also a lot of work and there's a lot of energy. They're talking about making it cheaper by being able to grow pot at home, but it's not going to be cheaper. It's just going to be more investment in a personal grow operation versus going down the street and paying $20 for an eighth of an ounce. Which $20 for an eighth of an ounce of the medical grade, super high quality, you know, 30% THC, 3% terps, marijuana flower is just a great deal because back in the late 90s, it would have been like $60 for that weed. But it's not like that now. So I think that the situation is fine, but I guess opening it up so people can grow it if they want to, I think that makes sense. But I don't think we should turn back the dispensary in any way, shape, or form because as much as I don't enjoy their corporate monopolies on marijuana or anything like that and don't support that, I do think the quality is there. And also we don't have to worry about street pot and possibly it being laced with something. And that's one of the reasons why I don't buy marijuana from private vendors anymore, and used to, but don't anymore because now I've been allowed to have my medicine. Although I will say that maybe instead of worrying so much about this, let's get rid of the $150 every 6 months to renew the prescription and the $75 a month that goes to the state for the fucking card. That would make it a little more affordable. And then furthermore, you know, there's so many areas there that we could improve. So I'm going to call it a night tonight. I'm going to be back on Friday. Friday, we'll be back with the show. I had a couple more things I wanted to cover here. Sandy's about the Miami Democratic mayor-elect news. We had a major victory in Miami with an amazing new mayor there. Democrats are sweeping the nation at winning their districts, the special elections, all the other stuff that's going on. So hopefully that's a good sign of the shift of the attitude of the American people toward away from essentially this wannabe autocratic dictator Donald J. Trump. Hello, how are you doing today? Nice to have you on the show. This is the Ardent Pinko-Comrade. We are a far leftist political commentary Twitch stream, and it's ran by two queer women, which is a rarity on this platform and pretty much any platform. There's very few lesbian and queer women out there speaking about these sorts of things, although we should be. They should be very radicalized at this point, and especially when it comes to women's rights and essentially domain over our own bodies, and that includes transgender people. So a big shout out to that shit, and protect the dolls and all that good shit, and follow, like, go check out our Instagram, our TikTok. Make sure you get on TikTok. TikTok's the hot place to be right now when it comes to the Ardent Pinko. We have all the haters in the chat. Go check out the haters. They're great. Super entertaining. And we appreciate having you guys. I'm going to call it a night. I had a long night last night, and it was up late today, and I'm just a little tired. So I'm going to cover the last couple things on the next one. We got a little story, Florida news, Florida Jits. Check it out. $83 million purchase, 4 acres of beach in Destin. That's a crazy story. I was looking at that earlier. And wave of closures in Florida districts. I wonder why, because, you know, they can't get teachers because nobody wants to teach their fucking rewritten version of history. So have a great night. Wonderful seeing you all. Essentially, oops, wrong one. There's Emily. And we're going to go ahead and say goodnight. And we'll see you on Friday, though. On Friday. Friday's going to be a great day. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff and start heading into the weekend, hopefully with some better news than last week with all the violence that's been going on. And then this whole thing with essentially with Venezuela, we're watching that. A whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, I've been on for like, a couple hours now, I think. Yeah, almost 3 hours. Normally I'm on longer, but we're on a weird schedule because we've been building a lot of new stuff up. I've been building a lot of platforms. But we appreciate having you. Thanks for stopping in. We do a full show. Usually we try to start it or a little earlier in the day, but again, I've been doing a lot of front loading on technology applications, setup of a bunch of stuff on multiple sites that we've been working on. We also have artwork. We're both artists. I'm a writer. She's an artist. We have books that we're working on. Our Remarkable Caterpillar children's book is going to be coming out soon. We have a novel series called Penning Your Thoughts. It's a queer thriller. It's gonna be a screenplay adaptation. I've written a rock album to accompany it, and then also we have a zine called the Ardent Pinko.Friends. This is something I don't talk enough about on this show. This show is based off of a character in my book Penning Your Thoughts, Phoebe Jackson. So you're gonna start hearing from Phoebe Jackson a lot more really soon. We're gonna start having a clip every show with Phoebe. So I'm just building this one up. We just started. What are we 8 streams in or something like that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, like 8 streams in. So we've been slowly building this up. But and then just behind the scenes a little bit, I've been setting up OBS. I have a stream deck I've been setting up. I've been setting up scenes. A bunch of we've been building social media sites. We've been doing illustrated for graphics. We've been illustrating a zine. And then we have a comic book that's going to be coming out. And it's essentially the Red Hammer of Justice and her amazing sidekick, Comrade Greenstar. Mm-hmm. And the comic book characters are based on yours truly, me and my beautiful wife, Emily, here. And it's really interesting because it's connected back into the zine and the story, Penning Your Thoughts. So we're breaking the fourth wall by making the Ardent Pinko.Friends political Twitch stream real. So there's a certain amount of fandom to this that you guys are going to see once the books and everything start hitting the shelves and the ideas start getting out in the world. So hopefully we'll just be able to continue doing this show. I enjoy doing it. So, and then there's going to be also a podcast coming, and then Substack. I'm going to be writing a lot, but again, holiday season, a whole bunch of shit going on. I'm trying to balance a huge schedule. So forgive me. I don't mean to bail on you when you just came in, but we'll talk to you next time. And thanks for listening. And essentially, we're going to go ahead and call it a night. And we'll see you real soon. So signing off. See you later, comrades. And don't forget to like and follow and all that good shit. We got a lot coming. This is just me getting fucking warmed up. You guys haven't seen nothing yet. Trust me.
Please.
Yup, that's better.
Yeah.